What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Transformers for your listening pleasure, episode 172.
Woo!
Today, today we're talking about the Titans Return line revealed at New York Comic Con. Bunch of great stuff to talk about. We're also going to give you our first impressions of Transformers Devastation, and we'll wrap it up with a little bit of TFCon talk. So, diving right into it. New York Comic Con, Hasbro had a preview night a few nights ago, and they showed us a bunch of stuff that we had some ideas were coming, and a bunch of stuff that we didn't know was coming. All thanks to a Titan Wars poster that was at BotCon um, back in June. But we got first images, and they're awesome. And I'm gonna let Brett. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce everybody. That just shows
Wondering
you
what you were
how
going to do.
that just shows you how excited I am about this Titan Wars, this Titans Return stuff. Tonight we have Dr. Archival,
Hello.
Megamus,
What's up?
Marody Prime,
Kreb. His name is Kreb.
and Heg. I don't know his.
It's just so unexciting compared to everybody else's names, isn't it?
I don't know your internet handle.
It's okay.
All right, so I'm gonna let Brett take the charge on this Titans Return stuff because he's got a lot to say, and he's also got pictures pulled up, which is always a good thing. So why don't you take us into it? Which one do you want to crap on first?
I'm going to talk with the big guy first. Because this is the first one I went, holy crap in a crackle. Man, Galvatron. There's things I like about it. There's things I don't like about it. There's things that I was just like very ecstatic about. I don't know about you guys, but this is like the closest they've gotten to G1 and better in respect to what he looked like in the cartoon. So I'm very, very happy with this. Then they added a couple extra things, which I was very shocked about. They took the Headmaster idea and they incorporated that into it. And I just think it's amazing. I think it's a good idea. I mean, everyone talks about gimmicks. You got to one-up yourself. But, I mean, if you think about the G1, I mean, that's all it was when you went from Target Masters, Headmasters, Power Masters. It was just the next gimmick. I mean, let me turn this off real quick. I remember when they first came out, and the first time I got to see the Combaticons, or not Combaticons, Constructicons, and they were individually packaged, and I was just like, it was that whole Pokemon thing. I got to get them all. Got to get them all. You grab the first one, you got to get them all. And then I couldn't wait to put him together and see that he was one big awesome brick. He was just awesome. Just don't move him. Don't move him. So that's kind of what they were doing here. You know, you had that. You had the I'm trying to go along the line there. Before Power Masters, they did the whole gimmick with the clones. And I thought that was a neat gimmick, where they look the same but they transform differently, and so they're always coming up with new gimmicks. So they decided to take the Headmaster gimmick and put it into Galvatron. My initial thought is it looks amazing. I got to looking at it more because I was really, really, out of all of them, and I'm not a real big Galvatron fan. I love Megatron, not Galvatron. But looking at it, I was looking at it from a completely G1 point of view. And I was very happy with it. All the way up until I started noticing this right here. And for those of us who are on our audio listeners, it's the hollow points. The hollow points in the joints, in the legs. Later on, you're going to see it when we talk about the other guys in the line. Once again, Hasbro, in my opinion, knocked it out of the park with an idea but their execution, they fell short with hollowing everything out. They hollow out the guns, the backs of the legs. It's the Jetfire all over again. And that's my opinion. What do you guys think?
But in this case, I think it's the fists. They fold in to the hollow spaces in the arm.
They do, but there's more to it. And this picture right here doesn't really show it. You can kind of see it in the legs, but if you flip him around backwards, the back of his torso is hollow. We're right back to the saving cost and making it hollow.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of last 2 years back.
I agree with you. I did point out the head, or the fist portion, and yes, you're correct. That's where it folds in. But in this picture, that's all you can really see.
Yeah.
And I was trying to flip through them, and it's hard to see, like right here, the backs of the legs, right in here, are hollow. It's just got a lot of hollow points, and I just feel that they could have. Would it really have hurt them to fill them in? Just
well, it
that
depends,
much more?
though.
It would cost us $5 more.
Or it would be smaller.
And I'd be willing to pay it.
The thing is, we don't know if it actually affects the transformation just looking at the photos. Like, the hollow gaps could be for components of the different forms to try to fit in so they can stay stable. I mean, we've seen toys where just because they don't have hollow points, those toys kind of flop around in one form or the other. And I would think that Generations Galvatron tank, like his robot mode, is probably a good example of something that just doesn't hold together very well.
Correct, and I would agree with you on almost everything except for 2 points. And my first point's going to be this picture, where I'm sorry, but it's obvious this portion right here is hollow. And I'm going to go on the fact that the figures that they did before, i.e. Jetfire, they did do that. I would be willing to bet. And yes, you're correct. I don't have the sample in hand. We haven't seen 3D renderings all the way around of the product, but I feel confident in saying that it's going to have hollow issues. I really wish they would just go the extra mile on some of this stuff, especially when, in my opinion, and when we get to some of the other guys, I mean, the Galvatron is so much needed an upgrade. It needed a better representation, and this is it. This is wonderful, but it falls short.
Absolutely. But one thing that got really good on this one, I think, is the legs, the silver painted legs. It's really good. I don't know if you can put a picture there again.
Let me get back to that one.
There's probably a good chance it'll end up being like silver plastic with like maybe a sheen to it, but we can hope that's where the paint budget will go, is into that silver. I mean,
I think so.
Because most of the purple can just be molded in purple. It doesn't have to be painted. He just needs that red chest painted and then that nice silver on his legs.
I agree, but I also, and I think ahead on these things, I also know that there's going to be a Takara version, and I would love to see, and you can be mad at me if you want, but I would love to see a nice chrome here.
Oh,
on the legs, chrome on the shoulder pads, and chrome on the gun. And I think that would just set it off. The problem's going to be, and I found out...
The problem's going to be 10 to 20 years from now when the chrome is flaking off.
Well, I don't care about that. What's going to happen is that if you've noticed with most of the Henkai, the Japanese, the reissues that they've done, the Takara exclusives, for some reason they seem to chrome in the wrong spots. Or they over-chrome. They make it too much. I think just a little bit, a touch here, maybe even here, and you're done. You don't need to justify the extra, doubling the price by just chroming the crap out of it.
But
simple aesthetics, I think, would suffice.
But that being said, is it Jetfire? Yeah, Jetfire. The Japanese Legends version had no chrome. It was the Hasbro version that had chrome up the wazoo.
You're right. They were the opposite. So
but that was crappy chrome.
Yeah.
I don't touch my Jetfire because of that.
Yeah.
It's there on the shelf
you touched too many other things to begin with. But that's beside the point.
I got lucky that when I took mine out of the package, its chrome was flawless. I know a lot of people had a problem with it, but man,
Well,
hate
remember,
Chrome. As a P-Force fan, I hate chrome.
Well, and I'll go on record as saying this only because I've been watching some of the items. The chrome from like Transmetal,
Yes.
and Mike, you know what I'm talking about. The chrome from Transmetal, the vacuum chrome is better now than it was then. I can show you Transmetal rat traps sealed in the bubble that look like snow globes that you could shake. It happens. It's not because you touched them. It's because they just over time said, I give up. They don't adhere, they drop off, they flake, and you haven't even touched them. That was the process back then. They've gotten so much better since then.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, well, and being shook as a snow globe.
Yes.
Because it's actually pretty funny. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I hope they do some chroming on that one. I'm with you there, Brett. Another thing I was thinking of regarding the Galvatron, do you think they will incorporate electronics? Flashing lights? They got this big...
And have we really seen what size these are? Have they all come out with the same size? Are they deluxe? Are they Voyager?
No, this is a Voyager.
Galvatron and Blaster are leader class figures.
Yeah,
They are
leader class. Sorry.
Leader class.
I would say,
Really?
say
Yeah.
for a leader class, if we're not going to get the upscale of the stuff we talked about, which we're not, obviously not, I would almost expect to have electronics on this. Are we going to get it? Probably not.
The
But
only thing I
I
think
think we should.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking might have electronics is you might get an LED where that cannon is. But if
Yeah,
you
that's
notice,
what I'm thinking of.
one of the previous pictures
Right up here?
showed. Yeah, if you go to his cannon mode picture.
There's probably a light in where the cannon should be. But I don't know if we'll get a sound box like the OG one.
So see under there, I believe the part down at the bottom, underneath his cannon, is where the cannon attaches in robot mode.
In robot mode, yes.
So I think that cannon might unplug and plug in differently in
So
cannon
this
and
might
robot
actually be where the batteries and the actual light component, and it would connect under here to make the light come out here.
Yeah.
Potentially, yes. But, who knows? I mean,
Hey, you know what? Let me switch back again.
when was the last time we had electronics in a figure? It was Titan Metroplex?
Metroplex.
Here's how I look at it. I'm not an engineer or anything. Hell yeah, that could work. Do it. Yeah. Why not?
I mean, an LED at the least is the simplest thing for his cannon.
Yeah, but see, I would love to have some more sound effects, just like the G1. It would just node back to the G1 so much. I think it would be perfect.
And maybe that's why he's so hollow, but we don't know. He could just be
You're
hollow.
right, and we could go right back to what Hank said and said, there's reasons why it's like this.
Yes.
I have never seen the G1 Galvatron. What did it have? Different sound effects or just one?
Had two.
Two. It
Yeah,
would be really
because
cool if they incorporate the original sound
believe
effects.
it or not, my goal was to have the G1 counterpart of every single one of these sitting right on this desk. This desk that's like empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, empty.
What happened,
Because
Brad? What
I
happened?
couldn't freaking find them back here. I can't find it.
Voyager.
You sit in it.
Galvatron is a Voyager.
It's buried somewhere. But
In
yeah,
that
see,
warehouse.
it actually had a little switch on the back that gave you. It was just like a shockwave. It had two different
Okay.
sounds.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I had a shockwave.
what's that?
I wish I had a shockwave. There's an MP one coming out soon, so maybe.
So did you guys notice in the pictures they were showing that Galvatron's helmet is actually a separate part?
Yes.
Is it?
Well,
Yes.
that's
no.
so they could have the headmaster flip into there.
Yeah. So the headmaster actually has a Galvatron head on it, but the details, his crown you see is actually flipped over onto his head. it's the same
the
with-
head has a Galvatron face on a Megatron body, and
Yeah.
this portion right here, the crown helmet, is not a part of it. Either it flips back or comes off or whatever.
It flips back, and it looks really, really cool. And we're going to see that on another leader figure further ahead here.
There was there was a video demonstration of the gimmick yesterday that I saw. I think it was RFC that posted it, but it's a panel on the chest opens up, and then the full helmet flips up from the front and up in front of the smaller head.
Now, I saw that on Blaster. Did you see that on Galvatron?
I saw that on the Galvatron. I didn't.
Because on Blaster, it flips from behind.
Yeah.
Galvatron's
behind him.
Now, big question is, does this limit the head's posability?
Not that I understand.
I'm going to bet not, because
They're said to be on ball joints.
I'm just going to keep going back and forth from screen share, back and forth. But this
but
portion right here, which in the G1, that was the tech port, whatever you want to call it, that would plug in, and it looks like it's the same thing. This is basically the head is upside down, the feet flip over to become the back of the head, the face is on the back, and this plugs into the chest portion or the body portion, and this right here would either plug into a swivel, which is what I'm guessing, or if they were even braver, this portion right here would swivel.
Yeah, but
So then he would have a neck portion. But I guarantee they don't. I guarantee this is all one piece. But it would be nice.
when they flip over the headpiece, it won't be able to move, I think. Or will it?
Unless they do it like Energon Prime.
Well, because if it's
Energon
like-
Prime moves a little bit.
Yeah.
So there is some sort of a, how do I say it? There is a,
Little
there's a
bit of
little
play.
give. I mean,
Yeah.
he can't turn completely, but I think there's enough to where you could say, yes, it does have head movement. I would give it that.
Kind of a few things as far as that goes, though, is on the heads for or the Titan Masters is what they're calling them now, and I guess that's supposed to be an overarching banner for all previous Masters, like Target, Power, and Head, all together. Just all of them are called Titan Masters now. But these are supposed to be, I guess, a little bit of a smaller scale than, say, Brainstorm here was. So I don't anticipate any cross-compatibility with that. So as a result of a smaller scale, they might not necessarily have as much complexity or as much posability with the ball joint.
I
said-
don't think their
they
heads
said
are supposed to be
that-
smaller.
They said that for the leader class?
All of them, I think. It's just a slightly smaller scale than what we got with Brainstorm.
Brainstorm is already so small. How are they going to make the heads smaller?
I'm not even going to say that because I can understand how they could do that, but I think that is a very, very, very bad idea. If you've already started with a scale, and these things are they look like you would expect them to interact, why would you not go with the same scale?
And that's where because when I saw these, I'm like, of course they're going to be compatible with Brainstorm, because when you look at each of the Titan Masters heads, there's a little notch in the back that's the same as the notch that's in the back of Brainstorm's Headmaster.
Yeah.
So I would assume that they would want to keep compatibility with a figure that's not really that.
Here's what I'm saying. Notwithstanding what Jim said, I would hope that information is not true. Although I'm sure it is. And I would hope that they would think ahead to know that these compatibility things are things that we think about and that we notice. Because if they want us to buy their product and they want us to continue buying their product, there needs to be a correlation, a unity. And if not, then I think that they failed in that aspect.
I
agree.
guess I could.
Go ahead.
I would just say, I guess I could see where they could be smaller, and that maybe that's why they're using the helmets on the leader class figures to make their heads look larger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Because they're supposed to be compatible with several of these of the Titans Returns figures are Headmasters or Voyagers or Deluxes, and if they're going to have compatibility between a Deluxe and a leader class figure,
Well,
then maybe that's why they're cheating with the helmets.
let me I'm gonna retract a little bit. I'm gonna back up and retract what I said a little bit because in G1 they did have headmasters and headmaster juniors,
Yes.
and they were not compatible. So
Well, a little bit.
They're not.
They had the same port.
they do not. If you took a Horrible and put it on a Snapdragon, he's gonna have a little P head.
Correct.
It's not gonna look right. I mean, they might actually fit, but
Yeah.
they're not compatible.
Yeah,
They-
it looks portable, but it still plugs in there. Because I used to have a Skullcruncher body, and I had Horrible as a kid. And I would take Kreb from Horrible and put him on the Skullcruncher body.
Right, but
But yeah,
they're not.
it
They're
looks
not
atrocious.
supposed to. That's the whole idea. They made that mistake back then, and it seems like that Hasbro might be continuing that same mistake now.
Yeah, it'd be like taking Energon Hotshot and making him the upper torso for Energon Ironhide.
Yeah,
Huge
which they said
bottom,
you could do
huge
that
top.
too. So yeah, that was we're not going into that.
Right.
We're
But
just not.
back to Galvatron though. Looking at the cannon, one thing that since Hasbro seems to have a thing with trying to be toy accurate to like the Heritage Characters original release, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't put any kind of sparkles in the plastic for the cannon. So if I remember, G1 Galvatron had a sparkly plastic, did he not?
Yes. Let me go back to the picture because there is one thing I wanted to mention that they actually did extremely well, and I wish that's not it. Now I wish I had the G1 where I could get it readily available to show you. All right.
They put swirls in the plastic instead, but
All right.
perhaps it was on the original
So-
as well.
Well, you're correct. There was little, like you said, it's sparklies or whatever you want to call it in
Yeah.
here. But I was very impressed with this.
Yes.
It is very, for lack of a better term that I could think of, swooping, more fluid
Mhm.
on his back, and that portion does go on his back. Whereas the G1 was very squared off, and it didn't look right. In the show, it was very, once again, fluid.
Yeah.
Now I can't see it here, but I'm assuming because we saw it there,
Below the elbow.
that's what it looks like.
It looks like it's below the elbow on the right side.
Yeah, but this isn't it. This is more like a back piece,
Oh.
which leads me a little bit concerned about that. But
That's a
This
great
is
homage
right
to
here.
Energon Megatron.
yeah, I mean that's even better than the G1. But I don't, going back to your question, it doesn't look like, but you have to remember these are test shots, first shots. This isn't the final product.
That's true.
So they may change that. They may change the colors. They may change a lot of things.
Hmm.
Or this may be exactly what we're going to get, and we're just screwed. So, I mean, you know,
Galvatron,
it is what it is.
Well, one thing that caught me off guard though is when they decided to do the headmaster, I'm sorry, Titan Master for Galvatron though
Yes.
is that they modeled it so heavily after Megatron.
Megatron, yes.
Even though it's not actually called Megatron, it's called Nebulon. But
Yeah,
I think
but
that's what
If
the
you
difference
look
is.
at it, you know what it is.
Oh yeah. So should we maybe think of that more of a, if it's not Megatron, maybe it could be a Megaplex? Or am I overthinking it too much?
Look, here's how I've always said before. Once you buy it and it's your toy, you can think and do whatever you want with it.
Nah,
I disagree. You do what
Yeah,
you
look.
do what the box tells you.
No, listen
Or
to me.
else.
Look. I can take my Bumble Jumpers and do whatever the hell I want with them.
Bumpers.
Anything. Both of
Cliffy.
them. I can take them both. And, you know, if I want to bash them into each other, I'll bash them. It doesn't matter. I'll do whatever I want with them.
Yeah, but that's after we go off the air.
Now, that stuff, I mean, doesn't matter. It's mine.
So yeah,
Moving right along. We
Well,
knocked
I had
Galvatron
one
out of it.
question. I had one question. Did the G1 Did G1 Galvatron triple change?
I don't believe so.
It just turned into the cannon. It didn't have a jet mode.
I think so.
I was just curious because you were pointing stuff out in the jet mode. I'm like,
Yeah,
did
no,
you make a
it
jet
it
mode?
was a
What are we talking
cannon.
about?
It was a cannon, and it was the robot.
I want to say all Voyagers that they've stated for this line will be triple changers of some capacity.
Everything we've seen so far.
Yeah, but some of them are I
above
would consider fan-made.
Right.
And we're getting on to that. So if we're
Yes.
done with Galvatron, we'll go ahead and move on into, if my computer will quick act enough,
But
and
to
we will
be
move
frank,
on
I just
into.
want to say one more thing. The third
Go ahead.
mode, the jet mode for Galvatron, is not the best. It seems like it's just something they came up with.
I
this
think
is the jet
I
mode.
agree with you. I think it's an afterthought. And speaking of afterthoughts,
Oh,
I'm
well,
gonna go right into Blaster, and then I'm gonna flip right into the mode I wasn't going to go with first. Not this one.
Oh,
Wrong
Is
one.
this?
great.
I'm sorry, but this is an afterthought mode.
It's-
I'm sorry, but a base.
How
No.
large is that boombox that it can be used as a base?
it's
Yeah,
the result
it's
of
great. It's a
it's
leader
the-
class.
it's the result of needing to have a way for the headmasters in robot mode to interact with the toy. And it's the same with Galvatron's jet mode. They needed I guess you could have had the headmaster riding on his cannon. You're like, whoa! But-
It does.
Jet.
It actually does.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
they
you're
just show
killing
it
me. Now
posed
everyone
on
gets to
top
see me
of
real
him.
quick.
They
I
don't.
saw this,
He's
and
not
I
actually
was like,
sitting on them.
"Oh,
He's
this
just
must be
posed
why
on
they did it." There you go.
Yeah,
there he
but
goes.
he's just standing on him. I mean, he's not really
He actually
sitting on it.
fits in here.
I
So he
suppose,
does.
but
And it's not the only one. We'll get to it.
wait. So
You
you're
know?
not you don't like Blaster's base mode?
Do I not like it? I mean, it's okay. Do I think it's necessary? No.
Nah.
I think it was what you just said. We need to figure out a way to make it so that all these little guys interact with each other, so you have to buy more than one. We'll make a base.
Yeah. Just what concerns me about it is the implied scale of the boombox as a result of Blaster being an entire base.
Yeah, but he can
And
he can mass shift.
That's true. That's true.
Everything mass shift. Come on.
They,
We don't
they
have to abide by your rules.
But he's
Ah,
categorically a mass shifter. He shifts small.
If-
Why can't he shift big?
If not, though, then that means the 1980s would look at him and go, "Hey, tone it down, buddy."
Tone it
I
You know
down.
how big the boomboxes were back then.
I will say one thing. All right. I am from the 80s, and
What?
something that is as big to make a base that makes a boombox this big, I most definitely picked it up and held it next to my ear and walked around.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. I sure did.
Yep.
and that
Now,
guy.
I didn't have the big, frizzy hair or this, that, and the other, but, I was sporting the big boombox.
Well, I mean, to put it in perspective, we have to assume those headmasters are what, at the most half an inch tall, maybe an inch tall. So he's not super big, and he's
Yeah.
only a leader class figure.
I
No,
mean,
and he had to be big because in the 80s he worked extra at the Who concerts.
yes, thank you. Absolutely.
Everything was big in the 80s.
Yeah.
But see, I think this is the most fun. Like, I got excited about this line. Like, I've liked this year of Combiner Wars because every figure that's come out in Combiner Wars, I can use with every other figure that's come out in Combiner Wars.
Yeah, they
I
suck.
can combine them all together. I can turn the Legends class figures into weapons or chest plates for the combiners. So everything plays together, and then this next year, everything plays together. All the headmasters work with all the other headmasters. The Legends class figures Blaster's a base, and so you can take all that stuff and play with it as a base. I mean, this is the kind of thing I would have had a ton of fun with as a kid. Like, it used to be they've separated bases out from Transformers figures in recent years, where it's like, well, we're going to either give you a base and it doesn't transform and it's just static, or we're going to give you a Transformer figure. But, Metroplex kind of gave us a base, but now it's like, okay, bases are back.
Yep.
Well, let's face it. If you were going to give base to anyone, it would be Blaster.
Yeah, he's all about the base.
He's all about the base.
His fortress is booming because his base is wrecking.
I mean, when one of his biggest weapons was base,
Right.
make him a base. And, there you go. But I did find it funny that Galvatron, his head turned into a little Megatron, and Blaster, his head turns into a little Blaster.
Called Twin Cast, by the way.
Yeah, they're calling it Twin Cast. I wish it was
in
blue
my
and yellow.
opinion, they should have repainted him.
It should
Yeah.
be yellow.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I wish he was blue and yellow on the backside because
Yeah,
I mean, they keep his
if
head
not the
red.
front, definitely the back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit disappointing. Of course, they're gonna re-release Blaster as Twin Cast anyways, and then his headmaster's
to
gonna be
happen.
called Blaster, right?
It has to happen.
This is all about Blaster.
We did,
So
we
you
did
get
a
tricked.
whole episode. We did a whole episode on repaints and retools and blah 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 blah. We all know this. We all know the horrible reason why, and we know it's going to
Terrible.
happen. So we'll get that out of the way. It's going to happen. But I'm going to go down as saying that while Hasbro and Takara are getting better at knowing what we want, it's simple mistakes like this that keeps the distance, keeps us from going, love you 100%. They're so close, but they just don't get it. It's funny. And I've said this, and anyone's thought it, man. If I worked for Hasbro, I would do it this way. If they just had a few more guys that actually collected, that actually really had a passion for the actual characters, not just the profit margin, you would get these small things. I mean, how much more could it cost to paint this or mold it in a different color? Not much. It can't.
Well, I would say it would cost too much.
I disagree with that.
Because the head is most definitely being gang molded in the same plastic, the same red plastic as the rest of it. Now, if they had to do just a small amount of blue plastic, well, now they're doing a bunch of figures with just a tiny little amount of blue plastic, but that tiny little amount, they're not buying it in humongous, in a huge bulk like they would be the red.
I
However they get
disagree
their-
100%. Look at this. You're talking about this chest piece and crotch piece right here. All right, that is a standard screw right there.
Yes.
You're not talking about a big distance.
Yes, but larger quantities more is cheaper.
I understand
comes to
that the lack of paint means a better profit margin. All right? But
Yes.
what the hell? Yeah. That was interesting. Come on, get in there. But then why not take away from something else? My point is that if you're going to name it as a character, stay true to the character. I think that I can tell you right now, if we had sat here and done this same thing and this thing was painted just like Twincast, we would be like, I give you a hats off kudos that they went the extra mile.
Here's what I anticipate
yes.
happening with it is, being that they've invested this much into it, I anticipate two things out of the Blaster mold. Is one, I anticipate, of course, a sound wave because we need a decent sound wave.
Yeah, but not out of this mold. You will not get it out of this mold.
I hope not.
Well, that's a hope. But if not, I anticipate a straight-up repaint released as Twincast, and the head will be called Blaster, just to screw with us.
No, and you know what? I'd be perfectly fine with that. That is okay. But to take this mold and turn it into Soundwave, which is a totally different character, different mold, nothing to do with this other than the fact that they both are sound-producing devices, is wrong. It's just wrong. And I would hope that they would think that is. They're not going to do that.
Well, that Soundwave doesn't have a handle, so.
Yeah,
Soundwave isn't a boombox; he's a tape deck. They're two different things.
Well, micro cassette recorder. So maybe Soundwave would be a deluxe then.
It's wrong. I don't give a shit what you and your little turban thing there say. It's wrong. Wrong.
Yeah, I would really hope that they don't use this as Soundwave. I would like them to release it as Twincast and have his head called Blaster. I think that would be funny.
Yeah.
That
I
would be
have no
great.
problem with that. I think people would get the twist. You would get the twist on that.
I'm just glad. I would much rather them, like, if they never released Twincast, I'd much rather his head be called Twincast than they could have gone the route and called him, Eject. And then would that have pissed you off more than calling him Twincast?
Exactly. I never said it pissed me off. I'm just saying.
Maybe not pissed.
I'm just saying that if they had gone the extra mile and painted it appropriately, you would have a kudos. You would have an extra note. Yes, they took the extra effort to do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Am I upset with the figure as it is? No. Am I happy with the way it is? Yes, because I'm not going to take the head out, flip it over, and call it Twincast. It's going to be on the damn potty, and it's going to be Blaster.
Yeah.
Simple. But if you're going to go the extra effort, name it something, frickin' paint it accordingly. Make it look like the character. Or at least try. At least try. Give me so I can give you an A for effort.
Just one thing though is while I can appreciate that they brought in the name Twincast as a nod to Headmasters as a series in Japan, I can't help but wonder if a better, more suitable name for the head for Blaster would have honestly been Buster, especially since we had just recently, not so long ago, lost Buster Jones, who did the voice for Blaster. So I think that would have been a pretty cool thing to do. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Twincast works too.
He is correct. I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
So did Hasbro.
Honestly, I cannot. I'm guessing HMRC forever. Headmaster RC forever. He's correct. It totally just completely slipped. Galvatron did have a third mode in G1. It did turn into a laser pistol. The little handle did drop down, and it became a pistol. He
So
is
he was a
absolutely
space gun.
correct. I am ashamed that I did not remember that. Shows you how much I like Galvatron. It doesn't matter. I forgot. He is correct. It was a triple changer.
Yes. So he is a space gun.
He was.
I wonder if that mode is possible with this new mold. It may be like a hidden mode.
I'm sure someone will figure out a
if nothing
mode.
else, I guarantee you could make it.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Jet better.
I'm always been a big fan of hidden modes. Kind of like Brainstorm here, looking like Beast Machine's Jetfire.
Yeah, that thing looked like
Or
crap.
Jetstorm, rather.
Here's what I am going to say.
The brainstorm, my little brainstorm.
Yes.
That's supposed to sound like my little or like Little
I
Mermaid.
will say this.
but,
I'm going to go on record right now.
I got
all
my
right.
properties mixed up.
HMRC forever. All right? Headmaster RC forever. As long as this isn't Dawn, if you find another mistake I make in G1, I will send you something for free. It's as simple as that. As long as it's not Dawn, because I'm just going to yell at Dawn.
I'll warn you, RC. It is contagious, and there's no medication or ointment that'll clear it up.
Sure there is. I went to the doctor. You clean it right up. It's just a little ointment. It's as simple as that. You find something else, you post it, you send it to me. I'm a big man. I'll admit it, and you'll get something for free.
Wow.
As long as it's not Dawn.
Yeah, no free dawns.
I'm sorry, but the HMRC forever, it took me a minute, but I went, I bet that's Dawn. But it may not be. If it's not, I'll stand by my word. But you got to prove me wrong a second time.
Maybe they could post a selfie.
Yeah, so
I don't know, because I know where he lives. Simple as that. Oh, send it to such and such. Okay, Don.
I think
Besides, all I got
Blaster,
to do is ask Don. He'll tell me. He won't lie.
I think Blaster is my favorite. Well, maybe my second favorite revealed, but like I see him and I just see Yeah, we've talked about play patterns before, and he's like, this is the one I would play with the most.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
So
I really dig
you
how
would
that
play
how
with
the
Blaster
visor-
the most. Most of us would play with Galvatron the most. Jim would play with himself the most. I got you.
That was terrible.
And I
Absolutely.
think going with that base mode or battle station mode, it's just out there. It's really great. I love battle station and base modes on Transformers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But-
something I noticed
It's weird. So
on,
I mean,
Just weird.
on these base modes that I've seen from the CG photos, on the ends of the ramps, it almost looks like they're made to interconnect, similar to like G1 Micromaster base ramps did.
Yeah.
You guys notice that too?
Yeah, I noticed that. When they
Well-
folded out one of the ramps in one of the videos I saw, it really looked like they're connecting with
I thought
something.
that's what I saw.
I would say that we need to get at least another base or two to figure it out. But I mean, I think that would be a nice node to the G1. I think that would be very nice.
And I have to say the boombox mode is just outstanding.
It is. It throws me
They
right back-
updated Blaster.
It throws me right
accordingly.
back to the 80s. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, that's it's great. I mean, Blaster and Soundwave, I don't know why they don't get more love from Hasbro. They're the simplest design. It's just a square, a triangle, or a rectangle.
Yeah.
Square, triangle, you know.
Triangle.
Eye shape's good.
I good our math.
Trapezoid, dodecahedron.
I swear I'm an engineer. I swear.
Shit. As long as you don't have to do shapes, you're good.
Round peg,
Make-
square hole.
Make that round thing over there.
Yeah.
You mean
Now make it round. I mean, you know.
You know the
Round.
round thing, the three corners.
You should see the wheels on his car.
Exactly.
They're like this.
Trapezoids.
we
Completely
don't
weird.
get anywhere fast, and we don't get anywhere without really sore bottoms.
What?
But you get there.
But you do so with honor.
All right.
Move
Thoughts on
along.
Blaster. Final thoughts on Blaster.
Definitely a must-buy. Absolutely love
Yes. I agree.
I would say,
Absolutely.
even though I'm not a real big Blaster fan, I would have to pick it up just out of intrigue on that base mode.
Mhm.
See how that's going to play out.
Oh, you're gonna play with it, I'm sure.
I play with it. Jim plays with himself. I said that.
He's
already.
gonna get down. Brett's gonna be down on the
I'm
floor.
gonna
He's gonna have all of his base formers down there, and they're gonna all be
Yeah.
in mode, and he's just gonna be having a heck of a time.
Hell yeah! I've been doing it. All right. Now we're on to the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
All
This
right.
is great.
Yes.
There you go.
Hardhead.
Anyone tell me what this guy's name is?
Yeah, for our listeners.
Jim, I'll let you start off with it. What's this guy's name?
Mervin.
Mervin. You know it.
That's Hardhead.
This is Jim's favorite. He loves it. Hard head.
I don't know about favorite percent, but
Yeah, you love
out of the headmaster representations, it's probably one of the best that we've gotten.
Look, all I know is
close to
you kept
G1.
saying- you just kept saying head on, head on, head on.
Apply directly to the forehead.
See, I'm telling you, he knew it by far. But yes,
Head
Yes.
on.
I'm sorry, but snub your nose at all these third-party bull crap. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hardhead. This is it. Now, good and bad. I'm going to give my good and bad
Hollowness.
real quick, and then we'll jump around.
Hold
All right.
on, let me guess. The hollowness.
The
Yeah.
hollowness. Look at this gun. Look at it. Look at
You
this.
can really see the hollowness here.
Yes.
See,
Now,
I don't mind it on the gun. I think that it just makes the gun look,
Yeah, but look at the arms and the
but
legs.
the arms,
I'm
man.
going to
Yeah.
go. I'm going to go good and bad on this, and then I'm going to retract again. So, real quick, the bad parts. We've got hollow shoulders. We have the hollowness, which everyone's going to say that's where the fist folds in, but hollow shoulders, hollow gun, hollow legs. It's hollow.
Holla!
But when we go into good parts, all right, this is probably the most G1 representation of the head, no pun intended, that I have seen. The chest, very much so, just like he looked in G1. And for anyone that's had a G1 hardhead, the one side of his gun is hollow. It is hollow like this on one. Yes, it is. All right. Moving on. The head itself, very reminiscent of G1, the gray body with the green appendages.
Is that hardhead once again? As a
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. It looks just like Duros,
yeah.
if I remember correctly.
That's nice. Yeah.
So they're calling him Hardhead as the head.
Well, he's got a hard head with a head.
Yeah. The body is hard.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure because like Megatron, his head is called Nebulon or Nebulos or something.
Well,
So I just want to make sure. So this isn't Duros then. It's actually called
It's
Hardhead.
Hardhead with Duros.
it says Duros.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Just make sure.
This is Duros. I was just trying to remember without looking
I see.
what the G1 name was. It is Duros.
I
So it is Hardhead with Duros. It is a wonderful throwback to G1 with, once again, even with the G1 issues of hollowness. And other than the fact that it's only missing the two side guns here,
Wonderful.
because a G1 hardhead did come with two guns along with the shoulder cannon. This thing is, if I put this next to a G1, people would say absolutely they are the same.
Yep.
It is wonderful. I love the fact that it is a tank with the shoulder cannon. It does have the transparent canopy. Everything. It is so much like G1. It's almost scary. So, thoughts on Hardhead and Duros?
Absolutely love it. I just wonder, given the panel on the chest, does it flip down to reveal stats in any capacity?
No. I saw this. I actually saw the 3D rendering of this, and it is one solid piece. It's just painted. Now, whether or not they changed that, it is just one piece. But I will also say this. If you look right here, he's looking up.
Yeah, I very much. I'm sure that the ball joint on the neck is working just like Brainstorm's.
Correct.
Yeah.
With the leader class figures, I was wondering, do the helmets still allow for the neck to move around? But
I think the helmet itself is on an arm, which is on a ball joint, so that it pivots also, just not as much. You couldn't do a 360 with it,
That would make sense.
but it would pivot.
that's also what makes me wonder if, like, I really hope that they're compatible.
There you go, not Combaticons. Combaticons.
Compatible with Brainstorm. I can still only hope. As for this guy, I mean, when I saw him, I was like, they're reissuing a G1 figure? No, I mean, I knew what it was,
Exactly.
but he
Yeah.
looks so much like
Exactly.
I haven't watched much of Headmasters. Like, I watched the first disc, I think, in the Shout Factory release, as far as I got, but I'm like, that's Hardhead.
There you go.
Exactly.
No question. That's Hardhead.
You look at this, and it is 100%. That's it. I mean, this is just an updated version. I think they did very well with this, even though nitpicking as I am, the
Hollow.
the hollowness, this.
Well,
And even in the inside of the thighs, I this is, to me, out of all we've seen so far, this is my favorite.
does
I'm
it?
sorry, but he is my favorite out of the 3 we've seen so far, and I'll even go so far as the next one we see. This is still my favorite.
Now,
Does it
I've,
get
I've
any?
seen some.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've seen where some folks complain about the face sculpt on Hardhead and Duros, being that it has a mask. Because in almost every media representation of the character, he had a open face with the nose and the mouth. But in the
Except
G1
for
toy,
the
did
G1
the
toy.
G1 toy didn't it have a mask in the toy itself?
The
Yeah, the
G1
G1
toy
toy had
not
a
only
mask.
had a mask, he had these, and I throw it back to Snake Eyes. The Snake Eyes little whiskers.
Oh
And it was yellow.
yeah. Okay.
It was just like this.
So does
I
the
mean-
hollowness not get a pass for you, given that this is a deluxe class figure and his legs are obviously like folding up inside of themselves?
I'm still gonna say it's a pass, but how hard would it be to make little flaps right here that folded down that covered these up? And I'm sorry, but this right here, until I actually see how these actually work, I don't see an excuse for these being hollow.
Actually, I do. I think the arms actually slot upwards so that the lower area is over where the shoulder should be, so that it locks
Well,
into the side for the vehicle
Ah.
form.
You can see where this shoulder joint folds up this way
Yeah,
as these
Yeah.
fold back.
that makes
But you
sense.
still could fill this in.
Yeah, leave a little slot shaped gap. I see what you're saying.
It is really, really nitpicky. I will admit it. I kind of put it back to this right here. I'm nitpicking, but I know it's necessary. So I'm okay with it. That's why I say, out of all of them, he's my favorite.
So I'm gonna give you the one thing here, that just looking at the CG renders that I don't like about it.
I know what it is. It's this little flip-up ball sack right here. I knew it. I know that. That does worry me a little bit.
That's
I knew you were going to talk about it, but I don't think he likes to talk about that. So
In this picture he looks to have animated lockdown wrists, meaning his wrists aren't straight out; they're like this.
Oh,
no,
that might be
no,
how they have it posed.
I think
Well,
that
this
those
is
would
a
flip
C-
out.
This is a CG render, so there's no posing here. This
That's
is
true.
a render.
Um,
And if you look at his gun, like the stock of the gun
the stock is on the
hangs down
inside.
past the wrist.
You're
I
correct.
think
It
has
could
crooked
be.
wrists.
It could be, but I can tell you right now that if someone would, it would be an easy mod.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're correct. Once again, if you're buying something, you want it to be perfect when you buy it. I would say yes, you're correct. I think that that is an issue. I think they should be popped out more. So I agree with you on that. I think it does have the lockdown issue.
Didn't like War for Cybertron Soundwave? Didn't that have a similar issue with the hands?
I got to remember that one.
Sort of, because his hands didn't flip out.
Yeah, but lockdowns he's correct. Lockdowns was exactly like this. It flipped out. It didn't. You felt like it didn't lock all the way out.
Yeah,
No
it
problem.
only went out so far.
It was like in an angle. And I think you're correct. I mean, you might have that here.
Okay.
I give you that. Anything else on Hardhead?
With
Yeah,
the
we
cannon-
should mention this is a deluxe class if we were
Yes.
Yeah.
already.
Yes, that is a deluxe. With
Correct.
the cannon being hollow, do you anticipate any kind of launching mechanism?
It doesn't look like it. I mean, all this up in here is hollow.
When was the last time
But-
we got a launching missile?
But here's the thing. Technically, in order for a launcher to work, all you would need is a spring here
Right.
and a locking mechanism there. So yes, it could be.
So
Do we
get,
see
give
the
them.
top of the launcher?
If you don't do that, was it Beast, that Prime thing? They don't have a spring in those missile launchers. It just was friction based.
I think
Right.
Titan Wars
looking at
Megatron
this
has
right
a spring-loaded launcher. I think
I'm
that's the
looking
last
at
time we
this
had
right
a spring-loaded launcher.
Nope.
It also has grooves
Has the
in
grooves.
the barrel, striations. And this is actually a port which I'm betting is for a what is that, 5mm?
Yeah.
Probably.
The standard is.
Yeah, his gun probably plugs in up there.
His gun would plug into here. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say probably not.
No, I mean the last time we had a launching missile was with Combiner Wars Megatron, and I don't think we've had a launching missile on anything below maybe a Voyager class in the last couple years.
So nothing on Deluxes?
I'm looking up there. I don't see any missile launching deluxes from like the IDW, like the last 2 years.
No, you're right. Megatron would be probably the last one.
Like even the Voyagers, I don't see any Voyager that has a launching missile. I mean, Megatron's the only one I see with a missile.
Didn't that one from Beast Machines have it? What's called Tanker?
No,
He has.
did, and so did some of the movie, the 07 and Revenge of the Fallen did.
But Beast Machine,
with
Tankor
Jetfire.
is 2 years old now.
Yeah, no, they did have all that stuff. But I'm thinking of of classics. Yeah,
Jetfire had missiles. I'm sure.
Jetfire did.
Yes.
Yeah. But those are 2014 figures, aren't they?
Well, we're moving along here.
Yeah,
Give
I
me
just think it's been a
Turn it.
while. Is my
Turn
only.
it butter here. Come
Back
on,
to
man.
2016.
So I would say this
Back to the
year,
future.
maybe not. Last year, yes, definitely.
2017 is going to be Return of the Missile Launchers. This year's Return of the Headmasters and Base Formers and Triple Masters and Action Masters, or Triple Changers and Action Masters.
Triple
Masters.
It's a return of a bunch of stuff. So
Just
I'm
say
calling
Titan Masters.
2017 Return of the Missile Launchers.
You know what? They make ice cream in that flavor.
And what flavor?
Triple bubble supple double.
Triple Masters.
Sure. All
I
right.
thought you was going to say, they make ice cream in Hardhead.
Well,
It's an ice cream van.
all right.
Excite.
Here's the one that everyone was talking about.
Yes.
And while it is nice, I think it pales in comparison to what we just talked about. This one is good. It has a lot of promise to it. And for those that can't see, we are of course talking about Skullcruncher. Absolutely.
Skullcruncher.
Which, I'm sorry,
I was
but
like-
I look at this as a little pairing between the Beast Wars era and the G1 era.
I'm calling it now. That's going to end up getting repainted into the alligator con that Optimus was built into.
I would
One
say
episode.
that, except that there's a third-party company that's already done it.
And a little Optimus is going to be the headmaster for it.
I think that's the whole point and why they would do it. To be honest.
Nah, I wouldn't say the whole point. They're puking out. Sorry for the lack of a better term. They're puking out the headmasters because that's what they're focused on now.
Yep.
But a simple repaint like that, hells yeah,
Yeah.
maximize.
No, it's a Decepticon. He would say.
Terrorize.
So
Well,
I
was
more-
kind of getting Mike to lead into the sponsorship, but he didn't kind of get it that.
Oh yeah.
But whatever.
What sponsors? We have sponsors?
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and take this moment since Brett brought it up so eloquently to mention
Yeah, I
our
would say
sponsors:
elegantly. It was brutal.
Captured Prey and Mega Toy Fan. Captured Prey. I am bad at their tagline. Take it away, Jim.
Captured Prey. Great toys, great prices, great service.
See, he even had to think about.
CapturedPrey.com.
I would just
Got
fumble. I would just
And
fumble that up. I fumble it up. I fumbled.
No,
it
but wait.
And
Jim, go ahead.
Megatoy Fan. Maximize your collection, minimize your price with Megatoyfan.com.
There you go. That'll work. So, we got that out of the way. So, now I'm looking at Skullcruncher in all his glory here. And yes, he does have the nice tail-whipping sword piece of crap that he had in G1. All right? Now, I'm going to be probably the only one that notices this. But
His legs are hollow.
his gun, and I really wish I'm going to find a picture of it. His gun is the exact copy of anyone? Ape Face.
Skull
Hardhead.
Cruncher.
Ape
Wait,
Face's
Ape
gun.
face, yeah.
Ape
Wait, really?
Face's gun. If it was in red, it would be an exact duplicate.
Interesting.
Exactly.
You're correct.
You don't suppose they
To
would
the
use one
square?
for the other.
To the sight, to the barrel. Exact. Now, if I took a G1 Skull Cruncher gun and showed it to you, other than it being white, it would look nothing like this.
No, it looks more like a modernized version of it. I'm staring at a Skull Cruncher gun at the moment, and it's like it's more streamlined than the original.
All right, give me a minute.
So,
Yeah,
Brett,
That's me. That's my name.
do you
Don't wear it out.
insinuate that we are going to get an ape face? That would be great.
I didn't say that.
I
I just said it looks an awful lot like Ape
And
Face's gun.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with the mold itself, but the gun. I agree with you. It's 100%.
The gun looks. I'm getting a nice little picture here.
I feel like you're gonna break Tobias' heart when No Ape Face gets released.
No, it's definitely a more elongated
Now,
version
do
of
you
Skull
see?
Cruncher's gun.
Yeah,
Look right here.
absolutely.
Look right
I
here.
agree with you.
Very, very extremely close.
Here. 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 Here.
Notable differences, but very
Here.
close.
No, I'm looking at a G1 Skull Cruncher right now. All this is an elongated, more modernized, stylized version of his gun.
You're full of crap. I'm
not
telling
full of
you.
crap.
No,
You're
I
full of
agree with Michael. I just said that before.
You're full of crap. Anyway.
Look right
Brett,
here.
let's talk about the hollow tail.
I'm gonna
Yes.
screen share. I'm screen sharing. Here's G1 Skull Cruncher's gun.
Right. With a clip. With
Oh,
a magazine clip.
I
Go
chose
back
the
to
wrong
it.
one. Hold on.
I'm waiting. Waiting.
There we
Don't
go.
let me down, Michael.
So there it is.
With the magazine clip, which this doesn't have, which the shortened scope, which this doesn't have. But if you look at Ape Face, it looks identical.
No,
I'm
so-
sorry.
You look at this section right here, this section right here, and then you look. Let's see, I have it pulled up over here. Right there.
They are not
Right here?
identical. Nope.
Right there is the same design that's right there in the middle. They're not identical, but they're designed to look exactly the same.
Nope.
Hmm.
The
Nope.
only thing it doesn't have is the spot down at the bottom.
Now,
And that's
Do the same
obviously
thing
so
with
it
Ape
plugs into the top of his.
I guarantee if you
His
point, you
robot.
put an Ape Face gun next to that, there's more things that line up than that. I'm just saying.
Given the hollowness of the tail, I'm wondering if maybe the white gun somehow slots in to the front of the tail gun and becomes a larger rifle.
Could be.
You mean up
Okay.
here?
I mean, it's definitely going to slot
Are you
into
talking
his
about up
back.
here?
Like the back of the white gun into the tip of the tail.
So, I mean, yes,
Right here.
Right.
it looks close, but I think it can go both ways.
Giggity.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say it's 100%.
And you
in the
know
hole.
how bad I want a new ape face mold. When
Now
I get
look,
so excited about
I
the gun.
didn't
Oh,
do
they
this
made the
just to
gun.
get you excited.
You don't want it
was
to look
just
like this?
Personal observation, giggity. So,
I gotta say that would take an awful lot of effort to turn an alligator into an ape.
oh, there's no way. There's nothing. I'm just saying. I think they took a mold of something else, and they used it for this. That's what I'm saying.
The closest I could think of is maybe they could like somehow meander the alligator shape
No.
elongate it into the jet. But as far as an ape mode, I don't see it.
I'm going to go on record right now as saying 100% that I'm not saying that this is going to be turned into an ape face. All I'm saying is that gun is off the mold of ape face. Period.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
that's
That's all I'm
what-
saying.
I
There's
just,
no other connection. Nothing to it.
I just,
Moving on.
And that's why I'm laughing at it, because I saw the gun and you mentioned it looked like the ape face gun, and
And you said
straight
yes.
away my brain thinks, oh, they're going to make an ape face.
Yep.
What
No,
a
that's not what I
pathetic
meant.
nerd I am.
I wasn't here to crush your dreams.
It kind
I'll
of
do
looks
that
like it looks like both. I'm gonna say it looks like both.
But now, getting on to what Jim said, with this portion right here, would it connect to this portion up here? I don't know.
Yeah, could
That would be interesting. Make for a
Does it
longer
look like
gun.
the tail's missing a bit at the
It
end?
does. It seems like it's missing the tip.
Right,
of the
and if
tail.
it has a hollow underside, I don't see why it
And
can't
these
just
have
kinda slot
grooves
up in
for it to
there.
plug into. Why
Right.
not? You're right.
Ape face spinning off.
Actually, if you go to his vehicle mode, or his vehicle mode,
Vehicle
his
mode.
alligator mode, you will notice that at the very tip of his tail, the barrel of the gun is sticking out of it.
Well, there you go. But it only plugs in
Ah.
there to for carry
Storage. Right.
storage.
It very well may be able to stay in there when it's held in robot mode.
But I did want to say one thing about this, and I had to really give them a hats off to this. I really wish if someone could pull up a G1 Skull Cruncher figure,
I still have it right here. What mode do you want to see?
just the alligator mode, because these stickers right here, and there might be tempos, are identical to a G1 right here.
I would imagine that those are probably hollow divots.
Yeah, there we go.
Now here, this right here is either a sticker or a tempo right here. 100%. That is a sticker with the slots, the straight up, and the Decepticon symbol.
Well, I'm thinking those might be hollowed out divots, and they just paint some silver paint around them to bring it
I
out to make
disagree.
it look like the sticker.
Nope, that is a sticker. It's either a
But
sticker or
it's
a
deluxe,
tempo.
right?
This
But
is
the
a
point is,
this is a CG render, so it's.
I'm telling you, I guarantee, it doesn't matter. I'm saying that kudos to them because this looks just like the G1.
It looks like the sticker, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
Now, the only way they could have made it better is down here.
That
Because
was,
there's supposed to be
My
stickers at the
complaint-
end of the tail.
My complaint would be that on the upper back, just behind the head, that they could have put a little bit of a gray patch or something to be reminiscent of the flap. It's in robot
Well,
mode, but it's not.
I hate
not
to
in
tell
the
you this,
vehicle.
but I think that there's going to be some sort of a port right here to where that headmaster can ride it.
It is.
Yeah.
There were pictures
Looks like it.
showing from
Yeah.
New York Comic Con.
You see.
Because he doesn't have the cockpit anymore, does he, in the head? Like the G1 toy?
No.
he doesn't.
I'm sure the mouth probably still opens. though.
I wish he did have a cockpit because Zoids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
There's
wager the
good
mouth
and bad
probably still opens, and he could probably still eat his own head.
Oh,
yeah, there you go again with that head fetish of yours.
Oh.
That's what
Aye.
the G1 toy did. He would eat his own head, and that's where the pilot would sit.
Now here's my question.
Was it?
Can you tell from this angle, is that a ball joint? I'm betting
In-
it
Well,
is.
I'm looking at my own face, so hang on a second.
Well, I mean those are his shoulders, but those plug
I'm not
in.
sure.
Those
I'm
plug
thinking
in,
this piece comes over and covers it, but I bet there's a ball joint right here.
I don't
I
know.
would imagine a ball joint, but if not, then it would be maybe one of those disc style where it's just
Yeah.
a rotation.
Those
Yeah,
look-
I still would go with a ball joint here
I would too.
because
Because it's the arms
I'm going the wrong way.
in the robot mode.
No, I agree with you,
Because they
Brett.
flip
I
up and
reckon,
they go right here.
yeah, I reckon ball joints would be the way to go for that.
Yeah, but
I think it is. I think it's
I
a ball
would bet
joint.
that those plug in.
And then these are on a small ball joint, but they still
Ball joint?
clip in right here. They clip in because. And I keep
I'm gonna go with. I mean, those are obviously on ball
Right here.
joints for robot mode, but
Yes.
I'm gonna say in beast mode those are clipped in, and all you're gonna get out of that is you're gonna get a swivel there where that little groove is. That's gonna be your mushroom top swivel, and
I
then you're gonna
disagree.
have the swivel at the elbow.
I disagree. I think this is still a ball joint. And
It
this is going to
would-
be one of those guys that after time, when you pick him up, his legs are going to flop because they will fall inward.
that's
I
all
guarantee there's nothing that stops it. I would
those,
guarantee that.
those are all. The only thing you're getting there is a mushroom joint. You're only getting
No.
that swivel.
Now, I'm not saying that's not what it's supposed to be for, but I guarantee that it will fold inward to where he could do a little patty cake and put his hands together.
I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say that it's not. I'm gonna say it's plugging together so that that alligator head doesn't flop around. Someone's
well,
got to hold
I think
that
you're
alligator
wrong.
head
That's
up.
not the point.
Well, you heard that right now, boys and girls. Michael Swift putting his name on the line, claiming we'll find out when the toy actually comes out.
I
How
will
wrong
put-
or right
Oh,
he
you
is.
know he
On
will.
the line.
Episode 172. Don't forget that.
Hey, I've had plenty of experience with beast form transformers, and they never give alligators that much articulation.
I don't know. The
Yeah,
original
lizard-
alligator Megatron
Lizards.
didn't have too bad of
Well,
a
yeah.
He's right though. It didn't have a hit. This. What was it?
What is that?
But the lizard transformers, like the short ones, like in Neo, and even in the original Beast Wars, they have these little, stumping.
Do it!
You know why?
They don't get much. They don't get much articulation out of
Well,
them.
that's because they have a big head and little arms.
It's a T-Rex.
Exactly. But
Let's not forget about his partner here.
what's that?
Oh, sorry.
What?
Go ahead.
I would just say I love the Skull Cruncher. I wanted the Decepticon Headmasters ever since I watched that one disc of Headmasters, just because of course they turn into beasts. I would love to see the rest of the Decepticon Headmasters, because I like animal transformers.
I would like a Weird Wolf and a Mind Wipe so that I can like do that scene in Headmasters where they try to combine by standing on top of each other. That would be great.
I agree. That would be nice.
Well, what I was said before, let's not forget his partner. What's called Grax?
Grax.
Yes.
That guy.
Let's show the picture. You got it, Brett.
I'm getting there.
Do it, Brett.
I got to jump through like 6 hoops here.
Come on,
They did.
Brett.
You have
Oh,
to.
that darn technology.
There we go. They did do a picture of him. There we go. And it's right here.
He looks like a little guy.
He's a little guy. Come on. There we go.
There
And the
he
colors
is.
are very close to the G1. And the gold face, so I would give this to him. It's a nice node. So, yeah, this one's okay.
Did the
Looks great.
G1 character have a big old screw in his chest?
Yeah, I think they all did.
I think
Possibly.
no, they were on the back. They were on the
The-
back, and they had a face flip cover that covered it.
The juniors had the smaller.
This isn't a junior.
That's right. He was one of the larger ones, wasn't he?
He was a larger one. So it was on his back, and he had a little crest on the top of his head that flipped down and covered up the face when he was in robot mode.
That's right.
Do we
And
know
so
if it's
it was
going
on
to
the
do it for
back.
this one?
You know, I'm sorry. I have to say one thing I'm noticing with these Titan Masters in the smaller robot modes, and I don't know if anybody else has caught this too, is the way the arms are molded. It seems like they're just a swivel hinge and not like a ball joint.
Yeah,
'Cause
they are
I'm
swivel.
noticing the sides of the torso, what would otherwise be like the sides of the ribs or the armpit area, is actually molded onto the arm and not part
Yes.
of the whole
Yeah.
torso.
Yes.
And that seems to be all Titan Masters so far.
Yeah, that's a little different than G1,
Mhm.
but G1 did have where the the arms would plug into the side, and that's what would always break on those. There's
Yep.
little pegs that those would swivel on, but this portion right here, where there was a pin through here and a pin through here, is the same. The only difference is on a G1, these were cut in half, where the two legs, the feet,
It was
were
separated.
independent.
That's true.
But other than that, they did have a pin here and here. The screw was on the back side. They were covered by a panel, and the chest was bigger. It went in more of a Y shape,
Mhm.
and then the arms were really, really skinny, and they were just little panels that plugged onto the side. But you also have to remember that beside the head itself were these two big square things that activated the tech spec,
True.
the tech reader. So it is a little different.
So the torso isn't nearly as wide.
No, it looks like it's more narrow.
Okay.
But he does have, I mean, hell, for a headmaster, he's got some kick-ass abs going. I mean, I'm envious, you know? Sorry.
I kind of hope they do have the tech specs on the Headmaster figures. Like they did it with
I believe
Brainstorm.
they do.
Great note, but I wouldn't hold my breath.
Oh, you mean actually as part of the gimmick?
I think
Yeah,
they
it's
would have
probably
already announced
Okay.
that. I think that would have been a big selling point.
I do think they have shown that they're all coming with tech spec cards.
Yes, they
But
have. They're a little
Are
different
they
though.
G1-ish?
No, they only have
Ish.
4 stats. Like they don't have
They-
all of the.
I don't care about that, but did they look
No,
more
the-
like the G1?
No, they're more like what you got with
Like the
RID.
bio cards.
They reflect a little bit the G1. However, they've changed up how they function in that they reflect the abilities and powers of the robot, as well as the robot connected with a Titan Master. So as a result, the tech specs now go, instead of a range of 0 to 10, go from a range of 0 to 20. And so that's been changed up a bit. So
I like that idea because I
Yeah.
always wondered that too. Even in the cartoon, when they talked about it, the whole idea of the target masters was to increase the firepower based on the Nebulon.
yeah,
So
it
I agree
reflects
with that
that.
100%.
It reflects that.
If you're trying to go along with the lore, that is good. That follows along very well.
I'm gonna see if I can find those tech spec cards. Here we go.
Because I know that Brainstorm's tech spec didn't actually read whatever the head was popped into. It was already pre-printed or typographed. But I would like that with the Titan Masters because that would actually seem quite cool.
So this right here is what you're gonna get with
Okay.
Titan Masters. You're gonna get on the front art. I mean, and they've had the Combiner Wars have had those stupid cards this whole time, and they weren't putting stats on them, and I was like, why are they wasting their time with this garbage?
Because they did comic books instead.
Well, for the deluxes, but the leaders and the Voyagers came with the
Sure.
cards. But they didn't have any tech specs on them or something. If they had a tech spec on them, the card is worth something. And art cards, who cares about art cards?
So,
This
so
is
the,
pretty cool, I think.
yeah, so the red bars are the regular stats, and then the addition of the Titan Master increases where we see it in blue.
Yeah.
In
So it
addition
looks
to
like-
that.
So they've gotten. It looks like we just have strength, agility, intelligence, and
Intelligence,
firepower.
Or Fire Blast.
I love how
So
Yes,
let's face it. Who here didn't think that he'd be smarter with a head? I mean,
A warrior doesn't need a head, just a good, strong body.
there you go. It makes perfect sense to me. All right, so that was the basic assortment that we got. Now we also got. These things are they legends? Is that what they're calling them?
Yes. So they'd be the same size class as Powerglide for Combiner Wars.
All right, now
I guess
This
it's not
is
so
gonna
bad when you're getting a Micromaster in a vehicle.
Oh, we're talking about like Rewind and Stripes. And
Oh, no, they're
well,
horrible.
we're gonna start with the first one that I have on my list. And
Oh, are
that
we starting
is-
with the head? Are we starting with Rewind, or are we starting with the Headmasters?
I was gonna start with Crash Bash.
These are
Crash
Titan.
Bash.
These are called Titan Masters. So
Okay,
I
these
To our
These are
listeners,
the
that is
Titan
not a
Masters.
Bandicoot.
These are the ones that they're going to. They come with an accessory. So you have the head
And no
which
body.
changes, and then you come with an accessory that he can ride in. He'll fit right in here. And this one actually turns from a pterodactyl or something like that.
chicken.
Turkey to
A chicken hawk to
a bigger chicken hawk.
To
I
a
say, son, I say, to a T-Rex. So,
I want to say it's a gopher. It looks like a gopher.
so you have the
I
gopher, the
What?
gopher to the chicken hawk.
I just
with some
realized.
head.
If you go
So
back to the
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 chicken
chicken
hawk,
no
Hawk.
the lizard.
Gopher?
the gopher.
So his arms there in the front, those are the Headmaster's arms.
Yeah.
I am sorry, but who here, and I'm going to be the first one to say it, I love this. Who here, the first time they saw that went, Yes! Yes or no?
Oh goodness.
Hey!
All I can think of is that line. I have a very big head and really tiny arms. I can't
Yeah.
reach you.
Yes.
I got a big
I-
head and little arms.
I have to say though, looking at that, it almost looks as though they just simply just turn the thing upside down, and that's its other mode.
I think they just gave up on this one.
Well, just about.
Yeah.
And all the other ones are a lot like that. So they have one mode that where the vehicle is like ridden by the
Right
the
here.
headmaster in robot mode.
Right here.
And
Flying
then
chicken.
they have the second mode the headmaster incorporates into it in head mode
Becomes
sort
a
of.
gopher.
So right there you see the headmaster becomes its arms.
On the
And
back.
on the other ones you'll see that they combine with them in different ways.
Right.
Now,
So what was this one called? Like Flat Clap or?
Crash Bash.
Yeah.
Crash Bash.
Clap clap.
And then
I mean, we're gonna call him Clap Clap from now on.
this one's called Loudmouth.
Yeah.
It's Siren.
It's a really nice. Yes, I did get a nice siren vibe from this.
Now, real quick, the previous one was supposed to essentially be what was formerly Squeeze Play's head,
Yeah.
but there's no
Cancer?
body.
Oh crap!
This is Siren.
I'm trying to remember Squeeze Play's head. What his name was.
Flap Clap. I don't know.
No. I want to say it's something like Knob or something stupid like that. I swear to God.
Hold on, I'm checking. Give me a sec.
Time's up. You lose.
Oh, I don't have. It's not here. Nobody
his-
cares about me.
What's his name?
No, it's Lobos.
Oh,
Squeeze Plays was
probably some sort of conflict with DC.
it
I
was
would
either
imagine.
Locos or
Oh,
Lobos.
Locos.
Locos, that's it.
LOKOS. Yeah.
Yep. Oh my God! I
Yes,
can't believe I
Locos.
pulled that one out of my ass. Woo!
That's
You're
not
not
where you're
supposed to let us
supposed to
know
put
that.
it there.
Yeah, well, you put your Transformers you want to, and I'll put mine where I want to. So, it comes with a nice little.
Turns into a nice little car for a nice
No,
little
this is
drive.
the accessory.
Which
comes with.
totally
It looks
isn't
like,
Quick Switch.
It's
no,
a hover
this
car.
is 100%. I'm sorry, the colors are a little off, but this is the Star Wars Land Speeder.
I was gonna
and,
say Xavier's wheelchair.
Oh, I would almost go with that
Ooh,
too.
that's a good one.
The front. Yeah. Yep.
It screams Quick Switch to me though. I'm looking at it. As, you know,
I could see that without the hollow point right here. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that.
but it's
A little
it's
blue in the front.
supposed to be themed after Siren's body and color scheme.
Yeah, whatever. We're going to go with
there red on it?
Professor Xavier's wheelchair.
I'm good with that too.
You went the wrong direction.
I
Go
did
away,
again.
Flat Flat.
And there he is, his nice robot mode
Yes.
with his slender shoulders. And
Now that was what, Quig, wasn't it in the original?
Yeah, quick.
and then it turns into this, like, I'm not going to say a tank. It almost looks like a, I don't know.
It looks like
It's a bulldozing tank.
It looks like a construction vehicle.
some bug eyeballs with a gaping jaw.
Yeah, it just,
It's a
What are those
face.
things in underground digs? You know, they've got like the little thing on train
like a
tracks.
little drill.
Tank.
Yeah, something like that.
He's a former Prime Viacon.
Yeah, something like that. Something
Oh
like
no,
that.
it's the thing from Beast Machines. You know how they had the
Oh, the mole.
the mold and the cheetah
The
head.
mole. The thing that had absolutely no purpose that never sold
See, no,
and hung on the shelf.
It's funny that these
Deployers.
renders, yeah, the deployers.
That's right.
It's funny that these CG renders don't have the headmaster incorporated like the other ones. So we're not sure which of these modes is supposed to have him attached to a head. mode.
Well, I think this one's pretty obvious. He just sits his ass right in here.
Yeah, but
The other one, he wouldn't have had arms.
the other one looked like he would sit in it.
Well,
that
this
looks
might
like
be
a
one of those
chair.
things where it's just it's two different vehicles. Because all they did was he's sitting here, and then the other one they flip these sides out, flip out this portion, and it becomes if I can get to it quick enough.
I'm gonna go see if they have a picture of this somewhere.
I'm betting.
I don't
he
think I've
just sits
seen
in
the
it in
toy
both
version
them.
of this yet.
Have we not?
No.
I don't
I
know.
know.
Yeah,
I don't think we have.
I'm not seeing them in any of the pictures.
I couldn't find one.
I want to say they only had like one or two of them on display actually, and at the Comic Con.
Well, they had the other three. They didn't.
Did they?
I just don't see this one.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
had
I
this
don't recall seeing the others.
All right. So then, the last
Night
one we're going
Beat.
to talk about is Night Beat.
Giggity.
Last one. Shouldn't there be one more?
Now,
No,
There is.
there's four, isn't there?
There
Four,
is.
didn't
There is one more.
There's one more. We'll get to that in a minute.
No,
Alright.
we've
I'm upset about that one.
okay, it'll be next. I'm going
we've
in
not
order.
done the horrible terrible yet.
I'm going in order. So we have this drill. Now, I think
Yeah.
this one is the combined mode because I think this is
Yeah.
right here, the Headmaster.
Yeah, that's the head. Because there's other pictures where that cavity's empty. On the display shelf.
What the hell? Pooping snot.
And it also looks like Quick Switch in my opinion.
Here we
in
go.
that drill mode.
So then they flip the sides down, they flip the nose cone out, flip it over, and he rides it, and it's supposed to be like a jet.
Wait, he's riding it?
Hell yeah, his head is
He's
riding it.
leaning forward.
He's riding it like a speeder bike.
He's
Oh,
riding
okay,
it like he
okay.
stole it.
I was looking at it weird. I'm like, that doesn't look good. That
He's
looks like
humping
something
it.
else. I see what you're saying now, though.
It's like
Guys,
a
just
sled.
quickly, we were talking
Hey.
about the head.
Tim,
Why?
sexual fantasies, check him at the door. Check him at the door. That's all I'm saying.
Just
right.
a quick thing. I just noticed one of the photos of Blaster. His head is like it's turning left to right. So there's probably some movement for the headmaster.
I'm thinking that the whole thing comes up on like an arm, and then before the helmet itself attaches to it, it's on a ball joint. So that portion can move. If that makes any sense, since you can't even see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I would.
Awesome. Then I have fulfilled my purpose. Here we go.
Yes.
All right. Now this I haven't quite figured out. I don't know about anyone else, but I look at this, and the first thing I notice is this big round thing on his chest.
Yep.
And I think of a big clock, and I think of Flavor Flav. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking Flavor Flav.
I think
I'm
that
sorry.
looks really cool.
I mean, that's cool, but you know, boy, that's what it is with me and my drill, boy. Right.
It's like the front of a steam engine, isn't it?
I'm just waiting for Bridget Nielsen to pop out.
So he doesn't look much
Anyone else
like.
get back? Come on.
Crickets.
Come on.
It doesn't look much like Nightbeat's headmaster.
No. Although, with the screw here, he does have a nice six-pack, or at least a four-pack. Good for him. He's doing his ab crunches. Good for him.
We're going to replace those all with flatheads.
And then he's going to be like, fuck, what happened? I went down to a two-pack.
No,
Not
or
Tupac.
they'll use the rivet.
Not two-pack. I said two-pack.
And it's just one muscle above the other.
2 to 4. Osmosis. Here we go.
That's how they roll.
All right.
Arr.
This the horrible incarnation of this horrible bit of plastic.
Crab.
And I
His
can't
name
remember
is
his
Crab. Arr.
Yeah, why don't you go and stick that in your crab? See what I
Stick
mean?
that in your
It
crab.
sounds
Stick that in your
vulgar.
crab. Stick that in your terrible crab.
That's a terrible idea.
It is terrible.
I'm just saying, crab sounds like British slang. Like,
I'm sorry, but if you're gonna name a head cancer, crab is not that bad.
Yeah.
the cancerous crab.
I gotta say though, from the time I was a little kid, Horrid Bull as a character has just always had a very, very strong sentimental attachment to me. More so, I think, than probably any other Transformer character in the brand's history. I don't know if I mentioned this in a past episode or not, but as a young child, my family had a house fire, and we lost absolutely everything into the basement in a bit of ash and ruin. And we stayed with my great grandmother, and the first thing that she did for me to help me kind of cope with the loss was took me out and bought me a new toy and took me to lunch. And that new toy was G1 Hore Bull, the headmaster from '88. And I've always associated that toy and that character with that, and so I've always had a sentimental attachment to it because of that. And so when I saw them bring back Kreb, I got excited. I'm like, okay, we've got Hardhead, we've got Skullcruncher, we got Hore Boy. No, we don't. No, we don't. Because it's Kreb, now called, not Hore Bull, called Terry Bull, like a bull named Terry. And he comes with a little mini vehicle that looks nothing like a bull or anything. The head, for what it is, trying to be an updated version of Kreb, is phenomenal. I love it. Absolutely adore what they did with it. I couldn't be happier with that. I am disappointed that they're giving us heads with no bodies, with heads that previously did have those bodies and were established characters.
Man,
I understand why they did it, because they want to do the $5 price point, but I would have preferred they bring in some of the like the Japanese ones that they did that with originally and do that with it.
Well, I understand that, but believe it or not, out of that whole story, what I got from it is that you had a very traumatic experience to which it was your grandmother, right?
Yeah.
Bought you a toy named Horrible.
Yes.
And
I picked it out. I chose it. It was either that or Scoop.
Scoop!
Good
I mean,
Yeah. Considering my house,
Horrible!
My house was rubble. I didn't want a bulldozer that is meant to move rubble.
No, you'd rather have a toy that said Horrible. I mean,
hey, it looked like the Pterodog Vince Clortho from Ghostbusters. I was happy.
Okay. Moving on. Getting back to
all
what
I
you
had to
said,
say
though,
is
I do
don't
like
stop
the
hating
fact that
Terry.
they are taking the little heads and they're selling them individually, as long as they're interchangeable, as were the G1s, and then with the loafer and all those. I like that idea, as long as they're interchangeable. I think that's a good, solid idea. I like the price point, because, as you know, some people can't afford the. I don't know. I'm guessing that the price point on these are going to be somewhere between $15 and $25 for the smaller ones. Probably what, $7 to $10.
Well, the heads with the vehicles are supposed to be. They said I think in the $5 range.
They're going to keep these in $5.
I believe so.
That's
it's just the head and the vehicle. It's
holy crap! Now I'm not so bad about the hollowness.
Right.
But you say that, and it's going to come to Australia. It's going to be like $15 for the little buggers.
Well, sure.
Yeah, but I don't have to worry about that. So I mean, that's just
because
me. Sorry.
they're basically going to become the Cyberverse scale for Generations.
The Legends.
Well, unfortunately,
Yeah,
They
I could see
Legends
that.
first came out.
I could kind of see
do.
that a little bit.
I go back with the old scales, Legend,
yeah.
and there you go. But even G1 Action Masters, I think we're at $8 to $10.
Yeah,
I think they
think
were
so.
right around. They were more
so.
than a GI Joe figure. GI Joe figures were
Yeah.
$3.99.
Of course, that's because their accessory, their main accessory was a gimmick-loaded figure too.
Correct, but that's
So
what
it
these
was-
are trying to be like.
It was
These are
kind of
trying
like
to
having
be
a
more
two-pack.
like the, putting the two together.
Yeah.
That's fine. So I'm okay with that. But I mean, if you look at G1 scale back in the '80s, I mean, I think something like this would have been around that price point, somewhere between $9 to $8. So that's not bad.
Maybe. Depends
So
on the scale too.
Am I the only
Yeah,
one?
we still don't know exactly what scale these are at.
Right.
Yeah. Am I the only one seeing these as Headmasters combined with Action Masters to bring both of those lines back?
Well,
'Cause
I
Action
understand
Masters-
doing that as well, because first time around, Action Masters was not taken so well.
Right. Killed the line for 2 years in the States.
But I can tell you right now, they're doing good.
Mhm.
G1 Action Masters are hot.
Yep.
Anyway, going back to this. So you have Horrible.
Terrible. Crab.
Which, here's my question. Does anyone remember what the headmaster for Horrible was?
That was
Terrible.
Kreb. Kreb. Kreb.
So we have Kreb,
Mm-hmm.
and we have
Rain Dance. Tell me that's not Rain Dance.
Oh
No,
my god!
I was
it is
trying to remember the stupid. What was the name of the little ship they had on Aliens?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just a
evac?
drop. It was just
The
a
evac.
Drop ship.
Remember the drop ship that flew down, had the wings that opened up?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There you go. But there's Kreb right here.
That
That's
is
the combined
totally Rain Dance. Even with the silver panel in the back as kind of a tail. wing or
He's
whatever.
doing the worm in the back of the jet.
Yeah. And they even got the purple face.
Mhm.
Got to give them credit for that. And then they have this.
Grand Slam.
You say Grand Slam. I look more towards
Or maybe Rough
what's his
Stuff.
name Kill Bison.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Wrong colors,
Yeah.
but kind of a Kill Bison type thing.
Now, why don't we have quad-barreled tanks in real life? We need some of those.
because it overheats the barrels too quickly when you fire
Because
them.
it overheats and it's too hard to load them. But that's okay.
But sci-fi.
The same reason we don't have guns that shoot knives that shoot other guns.
I think we should.
Sure,
I swear that's
why
from
not?
something.
It's overkill. It's not necessary.
Whoa, 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 whoa! It's overkill.
Gopher. Wow, you're right. Like G1 overkill. The Gopher.
So, there we go. That's what stuff that they sent our way. Now,
We got the
unlike
Legends
most
class
of
as
the
well.
people here, this is the main reason that I wanted to be on tonight's show and talk about this was because in a long time, I don't care about Sentinel Prime. In a long time, this is the first time, other than Combiner Wars Devastator, that I'm actually going to be out on the hunt for some of these things.
Hmm.
I have not been out. I don't care for the Combiner Wars stuff that's out. I didn't care for what came before that. It has been years since I've actively went out looking. And I tell you what, I like it. It's been so long. I kind of miss it. I like having the little hunt. And it's not so much that, I'm going to buy it, get it real quick, take it home. Sometimes it's just finding it and saying, look what I found.
Yep.
And you leave it for someone else. It's the hunt. I know that sounds weird for some people, but it is part of the game, and I look forward to it. I haven't had that for a long time.
I have to say one thing as far as the head gimmick with the $5 price point, the little micro vehicle. I just want to reiterate with the decision to exclude the classic bodies that these heritage characters had and just only do the head with a micro vehicle. I wish they would have decided to go ahead and just keep the set together with the head and the body like they did with Skullcruncher and Hardhead. And as far as the mini vehicle idea, I don't knock that in any way. I honestly think they would have done better to bring like the Japanese heads, how they had just the heads themselves in Japan in G1 that were I forget what, like exclusive or something. Yeah, and bring those in, bring those characters in to troop build and what have you that didn't previously have their own larger Transtector bodies. If you've seen Master Wars.
But also look at they're trying to do different ways of getting the most sold across the board. So
Sure.
Why not divide it up and you get the head with the gimmick and then later on you get the body. You're going to wind up buying both.
But who's going to buy a body with no head?
I don't think you're going to
The
end up
person
getting
that
the
bought the
body.
head to begin with.
I don't think you're going to end up getting the body. I mean, the reality of the matter is they can only make so many figures
Yeah.
in a year, and if they have to choose certain headmasters that they're going to make, they probably said, well, these guys we don't care about, or maybe maybe with Nightbeat, we had a figure in the last 2 years that was already Nightbeat.
Uh-huh.
So
And the club might be before
let's just turn these guys into single heads. Then we get them out there. Fans know who they're supposed to be, and they can work with the other figures, and we can release.
How much you want to bet in a few years that we get Bakun exclusives that have this stuff mingled, where you have a different body with one of these heads, they're mix and matched to make new characters, and I
wouldn't rule it out.
Possibilities.
Like we said with the Alligator Con Optimus idea, I could see him doing that.
Exactly.
But as far as releasing a body later on to go with a previously released head, I mean, hypothetically, let's say I'm a 7 or 8 year old little boy in Kmart, or if Kmart still exists anywhere, and I'm looking around. I'm not going to associate that because I didn't grow up with G1. I was just born within the past decade.
Well,
I just see
I know what you're getting at,
and I don't know what goes with it.
Well, let me ask you this much: do you think they were thinking that far ahead when they made the deployers?
The Beast Machines deployers?
Yes. No, they weren't.
I actually never got those, so I don't know much about them.
They were little sleds that went with just any of the deluxe figures, but they really didn't have a purpose. They weren't in the show. They just kind of threw them out there. They repainted them and threw them out again. Do I think it's plausible? Yeah. I think they're going to make bodies for it. Yeah, they could. So if they're smart, they will.
Converts from bull to headless robot and back again.
For all we know, it has a different head with it. And then in order to make the character you want, you got to buy both.
To confuse matters even further.
They would probably just have the same head in it.
They could.
Honest.
But I'm just saying, you have to look at it from a marketing point of view. And it could be very easily that way.
Yeah, see, I just think it was more of a, we're not going to make these, but we can make money on these by just making them by
Absolutely. It 100% could be that way, and they move on to make some more.
If that's the case, then I completely and totally anticipate and almost expect third-party bodies to go with these bodiless heads.
As long as they're still around, they will.
Yes.
I think so as well. There was another thing we haven't touched upon. That was the Legends figures that goes with Blaster.
Yeah, Rewind and Stripes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people were. Sorry, a lot of people were confused as far as what Stripes is. If Stripes is a new character or what. That was actually one of Twincast's cassettes, if I remember right, in Headmaster.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Whatever it is, it's ugly.
They did
cassettes.
They're not really cassettes. What are they? They're like data discs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cell phones.
Data tablets. They're like smart devices.
All right. So you start off with Rewind. He looks very much like a G1.
Yep.
He does come with a gun. Hopefully he comes with 2.
Hopefully
they fit on his back.
No, I think he only comes
with
with
nice.
one.
But that would be nice.
But look at this.
About the chest are very G1-ish.
Uh-huh.
The face, very much G1-ish. And he turns into this
look at those stickers of the print
thing.
They're calling it a tablet.
Yeah.
So he turns into this thing here. With
it's the new Power Rangers Morphin
stuck in his chest.
Now, from what I saw on the video that RFC did at New York Comic Con, they actually had this on display, the early prototype of it, and they've stated that the cassette is meant to be kind of a wallpaper for the smart device, and not actually a cassette jammed into the thing. But they did mention the term foil sticker, so I'm guessing that the thing's going to be a foil decal.
Doesn't matter. You look at it; it looks just stupid. mean,
I think it
especially
looks
a cassette,
great.
there he is there with this thing. I don't like it.
It's
It almost looks,
futuristic.
it almost looks like a micro cassette recorder
Yeah, it does.
With a cassette in it.
with a tape in it.
That's supposed to be eject. Gotcha.
Could repaint it a Soundwave.
And then he turns into
Grand Slam.
I take.
Grand Slam. Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, absolutely.
Which, if you take him with that other damn thing we saw back there, you can make a whole new combiner, right? Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong error. Never mind.
Grand Rain. Or no, Slam Dance.
Grand Rain.
Slam Dance.
I like
Okay.
Grand Dance. I do like that. Grand Dance. I like that.
Grand Rain. Rain Slam.
I think they did a great job with Rewind.
Yeah, you
In IDW, he's not a cassette. I can get past him not being a cassette. I think the datapad thing is kind of stupid, but they have to have him turn into something.
And
And
stay relevant with the times.
it's gonna. I hope that there's something that can flip out so that, like, maybe Blaster can hold the datapad, but I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Here's what I look at, all right? And if I can get this damn thing open, I'll switch
Nope.
it over to where you can actually see what I'm talking
The gun
about.
almost looks like a stylus. You know,
I will say this much. If they can go with that, and before they could go with this,
Yeah. Which I
I
never
can
saw in stores.
understand.
Yeah.
Because
That would be awesome
what
if-
is this? This is the Transformers
TCC.
Convention Club
Yeah.
exclusive Rewind,
Hang on.
Yeah.
and it's a little tank. If they think this is, sorry the pun, canon, then I guess that would work as well.
Kanon.
I'm sorry, it was right there. I had to do it.
Yes. I'm curious though if they are going with the whole Canon as a stylus thing, like I'm thinking that they might. It would be neat to see it actually store similar to a stylus some point like maybe through the arm or something because it's got to be hollow at some point. Everything else is.
Well, there you go. One of my peeves. I agree with you.
Go back to the
It is.
datapad. Go back to the datapad.
I saw something on that one as well. Just now.
There's a hole there
Yeah, that's what she said. Oh!
on the one arm.
Oh!
It's a headphone jack.
That
It is a micro cassette recorder.
it totally maybe could plug into. Now I don't know if it will, but it totally looks like it could.
All I'm gonna say is, Jim, it might be the right size, but don't try it. Oh.
Don't worry, I don't use a stylus. I use all my fingers. It's all good.
Well, there's another one over here.
I did see another thing. I
There's
noticed
one over
a sticker. If you
Where at?
notice the sticker with cassette print,
Right.
on the top of that
Yeah.
you got the Wi-Fi
Yeah.
signal, and you got
And
a
the
battery,
battery.
and the lower corner you got the email and the text and so
Search.
forth. It
Yeah.
could be a phone.
Yeah, because it also has like a camera and
Yeah. It's got
Yeah.
all the symbols.
Aren't
It's
you
for the
special?
new generation and something for the old timers as well
But-
with the cassette logo.
They,
What are you
could
talking
have at
about?
least
Old
had-
timers? Is it a flip phone?
They could have at least had it to say metal position at the very least.
Yeah, that would be great.
I would have loved the flip phone portion. I would have been like, yeah, I remember them days. I still have one of those damn things. As a matter of fact, I was making fun of Mr. Michael Swift if he got rid of his little flippy phone yet. And he said, yes, he is upgraded to the 2000s with a smartphone. So congratulations to him. Yay!
I've still got a slide phone. Got a keypad and actual.
As long as it's not a sidekick. If it's a sidekick, you are done.
Samsung.
Go away. Go away. Just go away. Sulk in private.
That other hole that you mentioned on the on Rewind though, I think that might be for a ball joint.
I bet you had a ball joint on that.
I think it's just there to look like maybe like you said a headphone jack. There's a hole on his. Oh, you're talking about the one further up.
Yeah, on the left side of it.
Yeah,
about midway
I
up.
don't know. It
There
might
you go.
plug into that, but yeah, very well.
I'm thinking that's a ball
Or a
joint or
ball
something.
joint.
Yeah.
That could be.
But
To have an opening that is about a 5 millimeter.
so are we gonna get on to the
Whoa!
abomination?
Think about this. You want to
What?
get back in the 90s? What if it plugged in here, became an antenna? Oh!
Oh my.
I'm sure you can make it do so.
Yes. I'm
And
totally
then-
Age.
Whoa! Let me turn this off here. And then, when you did such, you would have a phone equivalent to what Michael Swift had a few days ago.
My phone was from like 2009. It wasn't that old.
Mine's older than that.
Was it a flip phone?
Yeah, but
Thank you.
it had the keyboard for texting. It flipped sideways. It was a keyboard phone.
What?
So it's a slide phone.
It wasn't as bad as a sidekick like you have.
What are you talking about?
Right.
He's still rocking that.
Flip it up and go.
You know, I just had a thought about Rewind as far as the data pad and its interaction with Blaster. Do you suppose in the base mode, maybe the data pad can snap down onto it, kind of like an iHome dock for an iPod?
Hey.
I think the
Aye.
tank mode is meant for his base mode. To be honest with you, but he's gonna fit into the slot because he fits into his chest.
Ah.
But are we gonna get on to the abomination that is Stripes?
I'm working on it. You guys keep.
I want to talk about how terrible this thing is.
I love that movie. You got Bill
I'm
Murray,
gonna go on
Harold
record.
Ramis. Oh, that's
I'm going to go on record as saying this is the most wonderful cat with wings coming out of its ass I've ever seen. Yes or no?
Why can't they get
Right.
the cat cassettes right? They always look terrible.
His face looks fine.
I don't care about his face. I care about the rest of him. Like when you look at him from the
Spartan
top,
wings. What are you talking about?
when you look at him from the top, he's just flat and wide. Like
It's not that bad.
Wide.
he's terrible. He's
But-
absolutely terrible.
No, terrible's the other guy. That's Kred.
He becomes a jet. I mean, he's. What do you expect from this guy?
What is that?
He has wings coming out of his butt.
Go to the jet mode if you could, please.
I expect them to one day get Ravage and Steeljaw
Steeljaw.
correct. That's what I want.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you're going to see a Ravage out of this mold
Yeah.
with
Never mind.
wings coming out of its ass right here. All right?
I
Deal with
Michael-
it. It's
Michael,
what it
did you
is.
not like the Ravage with Hound?
I did. I thought that thing was
It
bad.
was. It was.
You know what the best thing
eh.
was? Is if you mid-transformed it, look like you get ran over.
He had that weird.
That was awesome!
Oh, you horrible,
Yes
horrible
or
man.
no? That was awesome!
It's a head and third mode. He's a triple changer after all.
He was. You put little tire tracks on him. That was awesome.
He's like the Beast Wars Neo Predacons that have the parts that open up to make them look dead.
Oh, yeah, that's
Like-
right.
He just looks like he got
Yes.
run over by a.
This
a
is
Mustang
Ravage. It was Ravage Roadkill. All right, so getting along to this monstrosity. The front, I think it's cool. I like the snarl, the teeth, the eyes, all that's cool. I will say this much, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. Snarl in Action Master. Was it Action Master Snarl? I'll go back. There was an Action Master that had cat gut. It was Treadshot. Treadshot had cat gut that looked just like the front of this, from here all the way around to here.
Mhm.
Everything but the damn wings. It was orange and black. It was called Cat Gut, and it was his partner, and it turned into a gun. I think this would be a perfect
Yeah,
way to reuse this mold.
that's probably why they chose that.
I mean, you think about it. No, I think they went more with the Bengal tiger right here,
Yeah.
and everyone knows the Bengals suck, especially.
Can you switch over to the jet mode real quick, please?
I can. I was just talking about how the Bengals
Sure.
suck in
I
football.
just wanted to check something.
Who is Stripes supposed to be based off?
Stripes, G1 Stripes from Headmasters. Is
Yeah.
one of Twitcast cassettes.
Now,
Hooligan.
I look at this, and
G2
I'll be
Hooligan.
honest with you. Given the mode we had and the transformation it's supposed to turn into,
Mhm.
this is not bad for a
I like it.
plain mode, considering that we're also used to Octane and
Yeah.
all the other Broadside and
Mhm.
all the other monstrosities from G1, so this is not bad. But I do believe it was thrown in. I believe that they just flipped over the data, whatever it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
gave it a plain nose, and said, "Here you go."
I mean, they're just going to replace that plain front with Laserbeak's head, right? And he's just going to be Laserbeak.
And they could flip these down to
I can
be
see that.
feet, flip them around,
And then Laserbeak transforms into Ravage.
and you'd have a laser beak, and then that would be like,
One.
you would blow so many minds. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh, let me rewind back.
Rewind.
Sorry. I had to rewind back.
I'm trying to
So-
pull it.
Now, this once again looks like that you said a cell phone. You got the battery,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi,
Email.
signal straight,
Mhm.
email,
I actually
messaging,
think-
all this shit, phone, or that's supposed to be a camera.
Yeah.
But then you have this nasty Bengal thing going on. Yeah, I honestly think that if they'd went from this to this, we would have been fine. But then they just decided to throw this monstrosity in.
It vaguely reminds me a little bit like G1 Flat Top.
Yeah, because the wings fly out. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
So
But
here's
he is absolutely right. You change this to a beak.
Mhm.
You flip these legs down, flip them around, and you have a laser beak.
I agree.
So here's a good angle at him from the top, and this is why I hate him so much.
It's
These
a table.
flaps. These flaps, if they folded in down onto his sides, he would look all right.
I'll
Yeah.
say it again. Get back to that.
It's so terrible. Oh, also, if you notice right here, this has a Decepticon symbol on it. I think this is supposed to be
Buzzsaw.
a Buzzsaw.
Yep.
And I think we have seen Buzzsaw before. Now that I think about
So-
it, he was at
BotCon.
BotCon, wasn't he?
It was a buck
Now
on it.
listen, you take this mode like you showed. You flip this out, straight out, and that one out straight out. Fold those down, and there you go. Once again, you have Roadkill stripe.
Yeah. Actually, those table panels for his hips, those look like they're on hinges. So maybe they can move in some way.
Yeah, that's so
You
you can
break right
extend
here?
the table.
Yeah.
You think they break right here and they could drop down?
Maybe.
They could.
It looks like a separately molded piece at any rate.
Well, how many times have we been given stock pictures of stuff that has been mistransformed?
That's true.
So it
Every
is
time.
possible.
Hot spots.
It is possible that maybe this is supposed to be a slender stripe. Everyone knows that stripes make you more slender anyway. So yes,
Not in this case.
I bet you
but
what
not
it
in this
was.
case.
I bet you what it was is they were trying to go for a roadkill, but they stopped midway. So Stripes is just mid squish.
Mid squish.
Yes.
I'll accept it. I like it.
I
do
did
like it.
find the pictures of
Yes.
Buzzsaw from BotCon.
So that's going to be our laser beak.
What is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he
Do you remember
turns.
that at all?
This is his.
It's a car.
his secondary.
It is
form.
a weird forklift.
What the fork?
It's for whatever the fork you want.
No, he's a little spy drone. He just sort of rolls around, kind of goes underneath your the little gap beneath your door, right?
Fork and A.
You know, I think that's freaking awesome.
Yes.
In any case, all right.
So bad it's left us speechless.
Yes.
Now we're done with this crap. All right, we have no more news to talk about, except there's this little thing going on today, tomorrow, Sunday. It's a little thing called New York Comic Con. It's a little thing, and I don't know about you guys. It's one of my. I want to check it off the bucket list. I've always wanted to go to San Diego Comic Con and New York Comic Con. What I was going to ask you guys, and I got a buddy that's up there now, and he sent me some pictures. What is your? Has anyone gone to New York Comic Con? First of all, anyone?
Nope.
No, I've never been to the realm of, anywhere near the realm of New York.
Went to Niagara Falls once, but.
Okay. So, what is your idea when you hear about New York Comic Con? Knowing what you've seen from pictures and everything else, what is your idea of what this convention is like?
An eternity of standing in line waiting to eventually get in before the show ends.
It's not bad.
Basically SDCC.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the show ended last week, but I'm still in line.
It's just a big old marketing get together,
Yeah.
is it not?
Well,
essentially, it's become just an avenue to have different companies show off their new products, and I honestly don't think it really reflects what it was originally founded to be, was a comic books specific convention.
yes and no.
I mean, in a lot of ways.
All right, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to apologize, but he sent me all these pictures. A buddy of mine, Mustafa, he sent me all these pictures, but they're very small, so I have to enlarge them. But
Will Ferrell sent you pictures?
huh?
Nothing, Mustafa.
That's his name. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he sent these, and I asked him. I said, "Don't worry so much about the toys and everything, because we always get pictures of that. But most people never see how many people are there. And we're talking about thousands. I know San Diego has more than New York Comic Con, and San Diego has in the thousands, a lot. New York Comic Con has in the lower thousands, but still, when you're considering, I mean, we most of us have gone to a BotCon that has, a couple thousand, whatever. This is a lot more. There's just so many people. So I asked him, I said, just give me pictures of the people, just to show you the all-around aspect of how big the room is and how many people are actually here. And you get people, I mean, you're not just talking about Transformers, G.I. Joe, whatever. Across the board, anything animated, whatever. It's all here. And of course, comics. So he sent me some pictures, and I'm going to try and muddle through this. And there was just, he told me it was so hard to get through anything. Of course, he had to take a picture of this because he knows I'm a Batman fan.
It's a new Action Master.
It ain't that damn big, is it? Holy crap!
It's the new Jumbo.
So you're a Bat fan.
Now,
Does it shoot its fists?
He told me this was 3 stories high.
Yeah.
That is huge.
You could live inside of Batman.
You could live in his stomach. There you go. Yes. But anyway, I'm telling you, that's the stuff you see.
Whoa.
Let me blow this one up. And this had the...
I thought that was somebody's cosplay.
No,
No, he's so
Because
cosplay. He looks like that.
there's that company that does little for Star Wars and other things. They got the big head and they're like kind of a bobblehead.
Funko.
Yeah,
Super
that's.
formed.
And I'm pretty sure over here, I thought when I first saw it, I thought it was Power Rangers, but I'm
There's
still
a
not sure
giant
what it
Iron
is.
Man. It looks like Hulkbuster Iron Man from the
That
back.
could be. It might be. I think there's another picture of it. Yep. So that's the Funko Hulkbuster. Now you got this guy walking around. I mean, this is let's just say this is a 6 foot tall guy. Look at this. I mean,
Almost looks like one of the robots from Reboot.
and they're walking around.
Best cosplay ever. I mean,
Right?
I asked him, I said, can you get some pictures of some cosplayers? I said, it'd be cool to get some cosplayers, this, that, and the other. And he goes, I can't. And I'm like, why?
Really?
He says, everywhere you go, there's signs that say you cannot take pictures of cosplayers unless you have their permission. And it was getting close to the end of the show. He couldn't do that. But
public.
the whole point is they evidently have such a problem. And I wish we had Natsume on here to ask her. But evidently there's a big problem with people just coming up and grabby, touchy-feely of cosplayers. Just to get
this
pictures.
is accurate, actually.
Really?
Yeah, in Australia, it's quite a thing as well. There's a lot of signs that say, please ask for permission and stuff like that. And a pretty well-known Deadpool cosplayer in the US even put up a video about boundaries with cosplayers. So it's obviously quite a big thing. Because I follow cosplayers as a photographer, so yeah, I see a lot of this news coming up.
I just can't believe that people wouldn't use proper etiquette just because you were in this type of environment. I mean, I understand that people are excited. They get hyped up. I'm around people that have the same, likes that I do. But you still have to be, respectable. I just don't understand that. But yeah, he said they were posted everywhere.
And you're correct, Brett. Like, as a photographer, I go to conventions and I take photos of cosplayers. It's always basic etiquette to go, can I do this? And a lot of people follow it, but then you get the random person with a mobile phone just taking a photo from like 2 feet, like a distance from them from behind, just to get the shot that isn't quite right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's quite. I don't really want to say it on the podcast.
Get your butt shot. That's what you
poor
want.
taste.
The money
Yeah.
shot.
The money shot.
It's the cosplay equivalent of the upskirt, is what it is.
The upskirt.
And it's really bad when you see actually people doing that, and you have to like tell somebody at the event to, let them know about this person. Like, there's just normal etiquette. Just ask the person. It will not kill you to spend a few seconds to go like, oh, I like your cosplay. Can I take a photo?
All right. Now, and I asked him. I said, like this picture here, you have, and I told him just take a picture, and he took a picture of the Lego sign, and there just happened to be, and I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be like, I'm thinking Sting or Undertaker, well, more Sting. Over here, the Joker. So you get an idea. In this setting, when you're just taking broad pictures, you're fine. But if you were to actually take a picture of that individual, you need permission. And they're evidently pretty strict about that. Evidently something happened a little while ago to where someone complained. So, we always try to help people out. If you do go to this show, ask first. It's really not going to matter. I guarantee most of the cosplayers will be more than happy to say, sure. They'll do their little strike a pose. You get your picture. You're happy. They're happy. Everyone's fine. It's the awkward part where you get caught doing something stupid that makes you look like an ass. I mean, it's not that hard to ask.
Is anybody else wondering what's on that screen?
I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. I asked him about that too. He
The
said he couldn't remember. It had something to do with
Catapult.
McFarlane. If you look up here,
Oh,
McFarlane
yeah.
Oh,
Toys.
McFarlane Toys. I was
He
looking at the
did
Bandai stuff.
say he did say that they were releasing some McFarlane stuff, and I can't remember what it was. Shoot. I'll ask him later. But they actually had like prototypes of some McFarlane stuff, and I mean, New York Comic Con, just like San Diego Comic Con, if you want to know what's going on, that's the place to go. Bandai. What's this one say? Oh, can't read it.
Square Enix.
Oh, Square. Is that a game?
That's
yeah.
a game company. Used to be Squaresoft.
Okay, so you have
Yeah,
gaming
games,
companies.
but they also
Separately, but
they also make action figures now.
Now, I found this very interesting. All right?
okay.
This is where I would be. I'm sorry, but I'd be the guy up here laughing at everyone down here. I'm sorry, but I just think these are the guys up here going, I can't believe they're paying this much money. We're up here, and it's just funny. So that's funny to me. Is that what it is? I have no
Aren't those the
idea.
office people? Aren't those the people running the thing? And then the figures that you see against the glass are the cardboard cutouts of some characters from a game.
Yeah. And they're up here going, I ain't going down there. There's some crazy guys down there.
Touch and feel the guys.
There's some touchy-feely guys down there like Tobias. Yeah, I saw you at BotCon. Don't.
Yeah, I got a lot
play
of
coy.
touch and feel there.
Yes,
And
you were.
I wasn't even in cosplay.
No, you weren't. You were just touchy-feely to me. No, stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So then
right.
you got this guy right here with the Burger King hat.
Yeah, he's in cosplay.
Okay, I'm sorry, but
He's cosplaying his childhood.
if I had my little like paint app, I'd be like, no, that is not cosplay. Just because you put a Burger King hat on.
He doesn't even have the beard or the
Next
weird
to-
mustache.
Brett's new
All right.
segment.
But you got
Sorry.
to have permission if you're going to
Cosplay, yes or no?
I would say no.
Not cosplay.
Not cosplay.
I would say Burger Archduke. Or
No.
Something.
No, you are wrong.
Not even
No.
King.
No. I'm saying the guy just came from getting a flame broiled McDonald's quarter pounder or whatever the hell it's called at
He got a flame broiled McWendy's double
He got a hat
quarter
with it.
pounder. And
shows you how many times I go to Burger King. So done.
But all right, so we are getting kind of late. It's almost 12 o'clock.
Yep.
So
Holy crap! All right, we're done with this.
yeah, I want to
the
go on real quick. We were gonna dedicate a little bit of time to Devastation, but we're gonna kind of cut that short. So just quick impressions. I've been playing it. I got it Tuesday. Looks great. Is amazing. Really fun. I'm terrible at action games. I found out because Hang's like, "Come on, guy. The hardest difficulty it starts out with isn't hard." So it's a lot of fun. Don't you agree, Hang?
Oh, I love the game. The storyline I feel feels out like one of the OG one episodes, so it's pretty.
Oh, it's so
Weird and
corny in the best ways. Like, it definitely feels straight out of G1. It's just nonsense almost.
And how
That's
good is the cell shading for the animation? It looks really, really good. I'm really happy.
So the only time I think I think when the action is going and you're playing it, it looks amazing. I think it falls short a little bit in the cutscenes sometimes. Like when they zoom in really close on like one of the characters' faces.
eyes. The eyes, I think, are the biggest draw. Like Megatron's eyes, they're too dark. They're not illuminated like G1 eyes were.
Illuminati.
But
Sure, why not?
confirmed.
Illuminated, lit up.
But yeah, when you're playing it, you don't notice it. It's like playing a cartoon. I'm gonna say that I really love the weapons that they have in the game because you can choose the weapons. They have a bunch of weapons from all over Transformers history. I mean, I found the Darksaber. I found Optimus Primal swords. They're awesome.
Find
I equipped them on Cyclone. What's that?
a face gun.
Because I know where there is one. Oh,
Sorry.
That was good. I like that.
There's more weapons that are even cooler, and it's all from all over the different franchises, and I think that's really good.
I'm just happy they brought in Crimsy.
Yeah.
You pick him up for special items.
Yeah, it's so much. I mean, there's a lot of nods to even more than G1. I mean, it's all in a G1 wrapper, but just finding Optimus sword, or not Optimus, but Optimus Primal swords, I was like, all right, I'm sold on this.
I'm pretty sure didn't they say that this game is tied in loosely to Combiner Wars and that whole thing?
Yes, but I can't say anything without spoiling the game.
Okay, well, I just wanted to at least throw that part out there, that there was a connection to the game.
So it makes it look like it's going to try to do a new game. Platinum's going to try to work on a sequel that's connected to Combiner Wars.
I'd be cool with it.
Well, and we saw that in some of the press material at New York Comic Con, where they were talking about having all their lines sort of come together, all their storytelling lines, being the comics, the video games, the series is coming out from Machinima, and they even showed like DNA's Transformers Battle Tactics game, all as like they're going to unify to this what they're calling, I think it was Prime Wars.
Prime Wars. Prime Wars trilogy.
Yeah. So
all the characters with a prime at the end of their name.
Yeah. So they're supposed to like all tie together. So far, I mean, I've really enjoyed it, especially since I turned down to like normal difficulty. Except for I found it too easy once I switched down. Like the highest difficulty that it has at the start is fine until I get to a boss, and then I'll spend an hour and a half playing the boss over and over until I beat it. But then on normal difficulty, I beat the boss first try in like 2 minutes. And it's like, this is disproportional.
Yeah, me on hard difficulty fighting a boss, I spent the first probably 2.5 hours swearing profusely, and the last 20 minutes of that finally beating the boss.
Oh yeah, then you give it a big old middle finger. You're like, you know.
My screen has a crack in it. We'll put it that way. But I actually downloaded the copy of Devastation for PC on Steam. And I'm very well pleased with it. I do want to point out one thing, though, is there are a lot of game controllers that might not be compatible with Steam. And if you do run into that issue, there is a program, it's software out there you can download. It's freeware called Joy2Key, and it essentially assigns controller buttons to keys on the keyboard. So, like if you push your X button on the controller, it would be the the R key or the L key on your keyboard equivalent. And so, in each button you type on, you push on your controller, it's as if you're typing the buttons on the keyboard itself directly, and it bypasses the controller compatibility issue. So, if you need to, check that out. It's called Joy2Key.
Just a note that Joy2Key doesn't work with everything. I've actually been using a really crappy controller that doesn't work with it.
Really?
Just letting people know. Yes.
Or go buy an Xbox 360 controller. It's kind of frustrating, though, to be perfectly honest. I keep accidentally hitting the D-pad.
Wait, the 360 controller's compatible?
Yeah.
You're serious?
You need to get a connection, and then you need to get software for it. But yeah, my brother-in-law taught me that.
You buy the wired version.
Yeah, USB.
As a Nintendo fanboy, I have to say I never knew that.
Yeah, it plugs right into the computer. If you're running Windows, it'll automatically download. Yeah, it'll automatically download the software you need, which is just I think patched to Windows.
Driver.
That is freaking smart.
Then there you go.
That is just downright smart. I like that. I'm gonna have to check that out now. Thank you. So yeah.
Best part is I got mine free from my brother-in-law. So like yeah.
Ooh, hey, even better.
So I think it's a Unison. The game is good.
Yes.
Note if you're playing on an easy difficulty, it's not very long.
Giggity.
Like I've heard about 4 hours. But
Sounds about right.
It's a bit of a. I think it's at more of a bargain price. Like I don't think it's the straight 60. I think it's what 50.
No, I paid $49 on Steam, $49.99.
I paid 49 Australian, which is a lot less than what you guys would have. It'd be like 30 something to you guys.
So go to the Australian Steam and download the Australian version. And
You
save.
got it for PS3, I think.
I got it for the PS3. Which, let me just
Oh.
say that even though PS3 is last gen, it still looks fabulous for anyone who's worried about playing a game on a last gen system.
I
It's
still rock
very
that
good.
PS2 Slim. Yeah.
But yeah,
Around the times.
it's a recommended if you want to spend the money, if you want to wait a little while, but definitely pick it up. It's probably good. I think it's up there in best Transformers games, and Transformers games have had a lot of crap, but this one is worth noting as being
Definitely.
really good.
Very annoying.
Definitely, I agree.
Out now on a Game Boy near you.
If you've got a Game Boy, the best game to get is the Beast Wars fighting game. It's like the best.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I love that one.
Oh, so good.
I
That's
don't-
for another episode.
I
I was
want to.
playing as the squid. What was the squid's name?
Ika.
Yeah, that guy.
No, I like to use the kangaroo because he does this freaking uppercut that just kills people.
Yeah.
Star Upper.
Yeah. Sarp is the best. I wish there was a toy.
Right?
He deserves one.
Here's that third
All right,
party. Get on it.
And we've lost Brett.
Ah, he's there.
So Brett, you wanna go ahead and tell people what they can expect from TFCon coming up here?
Yeah, we get this little show next week, TFCon in they call it Charlotte, but it's not really. But it's gonna be a good show. We got a whole bunch of surprises, a whole bunch of G1s, as everyone likes, a whole bunch of parts and everything else. So make sure you stop by and see us. And I believe Capture Prey is going to be there as well. So we will all be there next weekend.
Sounds great. All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. This has been another episode of Transformers for your listening pleasure. Saying their last goodbyes, we're going to start in the opposite direction of introductions with Heng,
Bye, guys.
Jim,
Kreb. His name is Kreb.
Brett,
Oh, bye-bye.
and Tobias.
A pleasure, as always. Thank you. Good night.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.